Okay. Well, as we wait for Cody, who should be here very soon, Raptor.
Yeah, those Black Templars, or no, that was Black Dragons that you're picking. Yeah, with the weird claws and stuff.
Um, who?
Yeah.
So I just got
Thought of him.
Nick, you, and then Raptor, and then Cody. Everybody else is muted for like recording sake. So, um,
Okay, I should probably also do that so I don't get distracted.
Yes.
um,
Sorry, John.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, so Raptor
See ya.
and Nick were both here for what went on last time.
I think it was
Go,
just me and
Ribbon.
Rap.
Yeah, it was just you and Rap, and then Cody. Whenever he gets here, we can fill him in on what's going on later on. However, uh, so
Quiet, pupper.
you guys are in Pharaan Fingold's his house.
Abandoned homie.
Yes, essentially searching for various clues to his murder and the Worldhammer and the Deowin initiative and so on.
All the Illuminati shit.
All the Illuminati shit.
Okay, you're gonna have to give us a recap because my memory of that time period is fried.
It was 3 weeks ago. I will give you that.
Yeah. I mean, I can give. I think I could give a recap. You might have to fill in some
Yeah.
gaps. So
You can go ahead and I'll just kind of add into
Okay.
to what I remember.
Can we get a bigger picture of the Feywilds here so I can see?
It's in your
Yes.
it's in your journal.
I can bring it
Oh,
up
is
for
it?
everybody.
Okay.
I can bring it up for everybody.
Yeah. Just bring it up.
Oh, there isn't one in the journal yet.
There should be.
DM.
There is going to be now.
Okay. So it was the town of Toma, right?
What?
Or no.
Del
We're at,
Riven.
it was
Del Riven.
Del Riven. I don't know why I thought we went further. So yeah, essentially, like, we woke up while Rap was being held at knife point. He woke all of us up because he was just giving us a warning that there were wolves around. And then the wolves essentially ended up surrounding. I forget the guy's fucking name. I have it written down. Hang on.
Sneaky boy.
Yeah, sneaky boy.
Who?
Magnus.
Oh yeah.
Ex-chief of the
Yeah.
Talons of Saint
So
Lawrence.
Magnus, who ended up being a former assassin, a leader of assassins, I guess, for the or the Talons or whatever the fuck they're called.
Talons of Saint Lawrence.
Talons of Saint Lawrence, yeah. So he woke us up to warn us that there were wolves surrounding us, and then they ended up ambushing us and getting the jump on us. So we kind of fought them. Nobody really got hurt or anything like that. I like Dooku'd one of their heads off, or I guess Anakin Dooku'd, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we
chopped it
so
off.
we dealt with them, and then we made our way to the nearest town, which was Del Riven. And he traveled with us because I offered for him to travel with us so that he wasn't by himself as well. So we kind of all went together, and we walked into an execution in the middle of town of a man being hanged. Fingold was his last name, right?
Pharaan Fingold, yes.
Pharaan Fingold. So
And he was accused of treason.
yeah, he was accused of treason and just being fucking talking crazy shit.
Didn't he kill the guy in charge of the town or some shit?
Yes, it's what he was accused for, at least. We don't know if he actually did it or not.
Which
But,
is why we're investigating his house.
Yeah,
Was
so and I asked
Lord-
Magnus if he knew anything about it, and he told me he didn't at the moment, but then got back with Rap after we wandered the town and got some supplies and sat down for drinks and stuff. He told Rap that the name was familiar, and that it had to have been in association with the Talons of St. Louis, or that's where he must have heard it from, and that it's possible that he may not, like, everything may not be as it seems, I guess, with what's going on here. So
Basically, he might be being framed.
yeah, to put it lightly. So we decided to go and investigate his house, but Magnus said that he had to go talk to
He had shit to do.
one of his old associates with the Talons of St. Lawrence to let him know that the Worldhammer could be here and just on about that kind of stuff, possibly get info for us if we end up meeting up with him again. And then we went to investigate Pharon's house, and we went through. I found a couple note pages, kind of talking about some stuff that was going on. Essentially, let me pull the notes back up. Yeah, so let me pull it
Wasn't
up
it a girl?
real quick. Yeah, the
Well,
girl that I met, but I'm pulling up the notes at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm outside, right?
Yes, you are outside with Gildroy. Yes.
And Kenny. Shout out to Kenny.
Well, of course, you guys' horses and stuff. So.
So he was talking about how he met the king of Faywin. Is that right?
Who are we talking about again? Magnus?
For the note, well, Pharon's notes.
Faerun's notes are in your quest items. You can look.
Yeah,
at
I know,
notes.
but I'm just making sure I got the name right. He met the king of Faywin, and the king talked to him, pat him on the head, and then he apparently killed himself 6 days later. Am I interpreting that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that note basically went on about how he had that experience with the king of Faywin when he was really young. And then he wrote another note upstairs that was talking about how it's going to be his last night in Del Riven, and that they had word of the artifact here in the Feywild and all that fun stuff. So, which I'm guessing is the Worldhammer, the one that we're looking for. That would make the most sense.
I hope so.
And then I
hope it's the
continued on.
Worldhammer.
I continued on in the building or in the upper floors of his house into a room and now have a sword pointed at me by she had fiery red hair, didn't she?
As a matter of fact, it was a dark steel battle axe.
It was a battle axe. Gotcha.
Yes, it was a dark steel battle axe that she wielded with one hand, and
Be careful, or she'll Dooku you.
yeah, she had her description is adorned in stark black, full plate armor, steel shield on her back, and a dark steel battle axe at her side. The fiery red tips of her hair flow to her scalp and become black, so it's kind of like an ombre, but it's red to black.
Mm-hmm.
Ombre?
No, like ombre. You know, like the color fade of ombre and hair.
No.
Just picture like a red faded into black, essentially.
Okay.
The roots of her hair are black. The tips are red.
Yeah, exactly. She has one icy blue eye and a one eye that's just stark white. No pupil, no iris, nothing. Just dark white.
Sounds unpleasant.
So we will go ahead and I'll just move everybody
She called me out by name, right?
She did call you out.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Did call you out by name. I will move everybody to this screen right here, even though Elwyn and Aurelia are on the first floor. This is currently the second floor, Aurelia's, that you're on. And Gildroy and Gregor are outside, sort of keeping watch. And as of currently, Gregor, just to give you an update, you're not really seeing a whole lot of movement. I mean, of course, you guys are aware that the house is going to be destroyed in the coming hours, but you're not exactly sure when. I think as far as the recap goes,
I think I covered most everything.
yeah, and as far as Cody's concerned, we'll just kind of give him a brief overview really quickly when he jumps in, when he gets his stuff together. So currently,
I think Ryan has you muted, Donovan, by the way.
yeah.
Just for recording purposes. So
Yeah. So.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, he's good. He's gonna send you a message.
Okay. So Aurelius, peering into this room as you step in, you're met with that dark steel battle axe kind of pointed at you from this woman to your left side.
Mm-hmm.
She did call you out by name. As a matter of fact, her exact words were, back in my notes.
Aurelia, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh. She said, "Ah, I see now what Gendar saw. It's a pleasure, Aurelius, I assume?"
I'm gonna kind of. Does she have the battle axe at my, pointed at me at my throat?
It's pointed at you as if kind of like a measure to, she doesn't know who you are, you know who she is, and she,
defensive.
Defensive, yeah, exactly.
Well, she does know who you are.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of nudge it away, I guess, so it's not pointed at me anymore.
Okay.
Not forcing it or anything, just kind of a gentle moving it, essentially. So yes. How do you know my name? I've not heard of you, and I didn't think anybody else in the Feywilds knew who I was either, considering I've never been here.
As she begins to lower her battle axe only slightly, kind of keeping it at a 45-degree angle. So I am correct? The Oracle, Jendar Sayord, and Feywin. My future was red. I'd be met with you, by the name of Aurelius, searching for the object that I assume you know which I speak of.
Yes.
So, what brings you here?
Searching for that item, of course, as you said.
Yes, but what brought you here?
You mean to this building?
Yes.
I would assume so.
There was... I got some information that there might be clues here leading us in the right direction.
The direction of the Worldhammer.
Potentially.
Well, there's not much to find. I've been searching for about 15-20 minutes, and I've only come across old books and various notes that really don't pertain to much, but perhaps you have found something. I hope.
I found... The first note I found didn't really... Well, before we continue with this conversation, who do you work for exactly?
My name is Malshira. I hail from the city of Brass on the Plane of Fire. I am not your enemy, but we seem to have a common interest here in Delriven. I know, I saw you near the gallows earlier. Fingold seemed to know a lot about this artifact, enough to get him killed, obviously.
Yes.
I'm a member of the Deowin initiative. Perhaps you've heard of us.
Here and there.
Led by Leonid Whitesunder, named after Lord Deowin, who perished attempting to
Blah.
perished attempting to capture the artifact in Zarth some 15-odd years ago.
Can you say his name again?
Leonid?
Leonard White
Yeah,
Thunder?
Leonid.
Whitesunder?
Sorry, I'm just making sure I spelled it
I
right.
thought it was Liam.
And her name started with... It was a Meshina?
Malshira.
Melshira.
Maelshira.
Okay.
As she goes on to the story about the Deowin initiative, Leonid Whitesunder, she talks about the various, I guess, coming and goings of the Deowin initiative, who are just basically here to find the artifact in the Feywild.
Okay.
How long has he been in there at this point?
I say probably a total of around 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, but it's just from... I mean, it's searching. We don't know how big this house is, so... I don't know. Anyway...
I'm just trying to think of when I think it's been too long.
No, I mean, you haven't really... So, Gregor, outside, you haven't really heard of any sort of major sounds or somebody attempting to enter the premises or anything that would kind of set you off, as well as Gilderoy. There's nothing really there to pique your interest enough to sound the alarm in order to get those guys out. Or it would be at your own expense to go in yourself and see what's going on, but...
All right, Gilderoy. Keep an eye out here, and keep an eye on Kenny, please. I'm going to go make sure that he's okay. He's been in there quite a while.
Okay, just, break a window if something goes wrong, or I'll head right in there.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of walk over to this desk to kind of read this while keeping up the conversation.
Okay.
So you're also in search of the artifact?
Not just me, but Deowin Initiative as a whole. We're here to locate the artifact and study it.
Well, that brings us to a crossroads then, because my employer is also looking to acquire this artifact.
Well, perhaps we could work together. And if we so happen to capture the artifact, we could go from there. Up to you, really. I know I speak for the Deowin Initiative. I'm a council member on such a society.
Seems fair. We'll cross that bridge when it comes. So
She walks over to you only slightly as you're kind of peering about the table.
Yeah, just kind of rummaging, see if I can find anything that she may have missed.
She reaches in her her little like satchel she's got kind of behind her that you're only now noticing it's kind of wrapped around her, but she reaches from her back and takes out a scroll and hands it to you. And as you take it in your hand, she says, "This is a scroll to Kine, a small village north of here. That is where the Deowin Initiative has their headquarters. It's up to you."
How is it spelled for me?
Kine?
Yeah. Just K-I-N-E.
K-E-I-N.
Okay, cool.
Go to the Dragon Eye Inn and order a drink called the Quartering. That should lead you to us.
Dragon Eye.
Brian, did you get the name Kime from that story I told you about Summer King?
No.
Quartering.
Kime or Kine? Because this is Kine. K-E-I-N.
Okay, I swore you said Kime.
No.
Because the guy I told you guys about is named Kime.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay. I take the scroll, put it in my bag.
Perhaps we shall see you soon?
We will see. Depends on what takes me that way.
And,
But
as
hopefully
this,
so.
as this as this conversation is kind of coming to, not an abrupt end, but like a sort of comfortable end, she begins to conjure blue mist of arcane energy out of thin air, and light manifests itself throughout the room, kind of like darting in each direction, light streaks. And as she's kind of bringing her arms together in a clockwise motion, this portal flies out to her right side, and it starts as a needlepoint held aloft by absolutely nothing. It starts to grow to a quarter, and then about the size of a medium-sized creature, a human. And it's letting out this kind of blue presence throughout the walls of the room, and it doesn't make much noise. However, it is arcane in nature, and it's very obviously a portal, as you can kind of peer through, and the sort of mists of arcane energy are swirling inside. As she conjures that, she says, "If you do choose to come to Kine, like I said, the Dragon Eye Inn, the Quartering, let us know."
I give her a nod.
And she steps backwards through the portal.
Okay. Disappears. I'm guessing I don't find anything else on these tables or anything, though.
No.
Okay. So
Drops
I will then make my way back out.
Okay.
How far do I get before I encounter him?
So at this time, Raptor, let me go ahead and add you back. Aurelius, sorry. You back on the token layer. And
Kinda on the way, I guess. So depends on where Stinwolf takes us.
I'm drawing a blank. Oh, okay, there we go. You are huge.
Huge. Absolutely huge.
Fuck. Rhaegar. Alright. Cody? Is Cody here yet?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so Cody. So Aurelius, you just had that encounter. Long story short, you guys, trying to think of where we started. Oh yeah, so you guys met Magnus, you guys went to Del Riven, and there was a man getting publicly executed. His name was Fingold Pharaan. Magnus had brought up that he might have heard that name, or maybe had something to do in relation to the Talons of St. Lawrence. So after he was publicly hanged, the party went to go investigate his manor, essentially, for any clues about the Worldhammer. Because as you guys know by now, the Talons of St. Lawrence were in the midst of capturing the object from King Grindor of the Sunken City in Jericho. And that whole mission, it didn't really disappear. That whole mission to capture it failed, and it kind of, I guess it did just disappear because the Talons lost track of it. So this Fingold Pharaan in the Feywild, his manor, he had mentioned the Deowin initiative, and of course, this society, this group of people is trying to capture the artifact as well. So you guys are right now combing the keep for any sort of clues as to where the Worldhammer is or anything like that. It's essentially just another stop to gather information. And Aurelius, as you come down the stairs, you are met with Gregor, who had just stepped through, and Elwyn.
Aurelius, did you find anything?
I didn't really find anything. I found a couple of his notes stating just various things. He had mentioned something about an artifact, but nothing that really gave us any direction.
Sorry about that.
However, there was a woman upstairs.
What?
She gave me the scroll to the city of, or the village of Kine. She said she worked for the Deowin initiative. Said she was a council member. And she actually gave me the name of the leader of the Deowin initiative. His name is Leonid Whitesunder. So that might be useful information. But they're also looking for the artifact that we are. I don't know what their intentions are, but it'd be a step to give us some info on where it could be. At the very least, going and talking to them. I'm not saying that we work with them or anything, but they might have some info that could help us inadvertently.
Gregor, go ahead and make a knowledge check. I think by now, I'm gonna try to just make a knowledge check real quick.
Knowledge what?
Just straight knowledge check.
Right spot. Yes. There's a street.
Just roll a d20 and add your knowledge bonus, knowledge modifier, or not your knowledge, your fucking intelligence modifier.
Like that. Okay. +1. Got it.
Okay.
Not great.
Nope. Not great.
Gretchen?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Nick, but
No, you're fine.
I don't know shit.
Cody.
Yeah.
As you have been downstairs, can you see? Actually, I should probably. I don't know if I give you sight.
can't see a goddamn thing.
Okay, my bad. Can you see now?
No.
God damn.
Can you see, Gregor?
Yeah, I can see it fine.
I gave. Oh wait, hold on. What about now?
No, I can see it.
God, Roll20 is like super anal about like settings and. Okay. So you were searching over here, Cody. Coming in here, Aurelia was searching in here, and amongst the bookshelves and tables and stuff, you had done a great deal of searching in this room because Aurelius, when he came in, he was just kind of glancing over everything, and you happened to find this note, and I will add it to your, I guess, quest items real quick. you find this note amongst the papers embedded in the bookshelf.
Cat just walked in my room, walked in my closet.
All right. I I just kind of put the note away.
Okay.
Walk back in.
Okay, so you did that outside of sight from everyone.
Yes. This happened while you were upstairs.
Okay, gotcha.
How did she tell you when she got?
No, I didn't get a time frame. She said that an oracle had told her that she was going to meet up with us, or at least me, or that she was going to not necessarily meet up with me, but that she would encounter me up there. So,
Because
I mean,
I didn't hear anyone enter the building.
No, she didn't. She was already here.
I think it's a little dangerous to just like
Yeah, we should
kind of
leave.
meet with these people who want the artifact as well. Yeah,
We should
seems like they're a
definitely
threat
also
more than
not stay in the house.
an ally.
I mean, she seemed genuine. She seemed like she wanted to work together to find it. Now, I can't say that when we find it that everybody's going to be okay with us having it, but it may be. We haven't heard any other info on where this could be yet. Like absolutely nothing.
But we
So
know we're
maybe our
supposed to
best
go
shot
talk
to get
the
info
guy.
at the very least.
As she implied, Nick, that you of course would work together, and as she said, once the object is found or if the item is procured
Yeah, we
in
would go
someone's
from there.
possession, then that's when discussions would have to start.
Yeah.
I think we just use them for information.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. At the very least, we can at least get information.
Yeah, we don't even really need to fully go into this and commit. We could just lie. Like, it doesn't hurt to just like kind of use them and then dip out.
The issue with just taking advantage of it, but we're not quite sure how powerful they actually are.
I mean, they've got a say over multiple realms apparently, because aren't they a big thing back in the material realm?
The Deowin
Or
Initiative?
material plane, yeah.
None of you have heard of the Deowin Initiative in the material plane.
Who am I thinking of? The people that the society. That's who I'm thinking of.
You think the people who were after you at one point?
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. I was thinking
Yeah.
of like the behind the scenes. Yep. Okay. Never mind.
Because
All good.
if we don't know how powerful the people we're playing with are, if we make a mistake, it could turn out very poorly.
I mean, yeah, but we could just say we're not interested anymore. We could lie about our reason for dipping out as well.
Not right. We need to be careful.
Like you said, at the very least, you can gather some info, find out what we may not already know.
Yeah, I think so. It's fine. Do we know why the Talons wanted the artifact?
No clue.
Real quick
Right,
out of
DM?
character, aren't the Talons like the Assassins Guild?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, they are.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
And they want the globe smashy stick, also known as the Worldhammer.
The Worldhammer. Yeah.
Since Gregor and Elowin were not here last session, you guys can comb the house again if you'd like. I know Aurelius already kind of did, but
I just wasn't in the house.
yeah, Gregor, you haven't been here. You haven't seen anything. Elowin, you haven't seen anything, even though you were in the house last session, but you haven't been here.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
I'll just let it be what it is and just assume I didn't scour. Yeah, I'm not gonna press that.
Yeah, I believe in his skills, at least that one. But
Did
you
you
find
feel
any
confident
interesting
in your
books, at
skills,
least?
Aurelius?
It's towards what? Just in general?
I mean, like, of combing the house, because you were the only one that really did it.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you guys want to double check it, that's fine. But I looked my best.
I
I grabbed
wonder...
what was important.
Wait, you met with a person up there?
Yes, yeah, and
Upstairs.
if she was already up there, like, she grabbed anything else that was important. So
She's already gone? Damn.
yeah, she teleported out. So
Is there a library?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking Aurelia.
Oh, okay.
huh?
Is
It's
there a
kinda hard
library? Aurelius?
Sorry, I got a message and I had to reply to it. No,
This
Are
is
you okay,
great.
Aurelius?
No, it was a work thing. So
Has
that's
Oh,
Has this
okay.
woman corrupted you?
no. Sorry, what was the question?
Is there a library?
Upstairs?
Anywhere. Is there a library in the house?
I mean, he's got a few bookshelves here and there, but there's not a library, no.
Okay, could you point me to the books?
That
is my specialty.
I don't remember if there was any downstairs, but I know there was one in the room, like his. I don't know if it was his bedroom or just an office room upstairs in the very back, the room that I met the woman in.
Elowen was technically in the building too, though.
Yes.
Hey, Elowen, did you find any bookshelves?
I searched a bookshelf, but I couldn't find anything I was looking for.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to space out like that. I had
You're good.
my assistant manager called,
Hey,
or not, didn't call, but texted me.
Elowen, which way is that bookshelf? You said.
To the left. I kind of just like walk them and then like wave my hand. Yeah, like as go
I'm
on.
gonna go get a drink real quick.
Kind of like
Are
just
these
putting
all
your hand out
bookshelves?
there.
Yes. From what you can see, this is a bookshelf right here. This is a small little end table with various drawings and stuff on it, and of course you got your living room-esque type, rug chairs and torches and things of that sort.
All right. I'm just gonna do like a cursory glance of the titles to see if anything pops out to me.
Go ahead and make a search check.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, with that nat 1.
I looked in my skills and I was like, oh hey, it's a +1.
So, peering out over the long bookshelf that kind of overlays almost the entire wall, various books on Feywild creatures, philosophy, certain political, I guess, affiliations, like different governments, the history of the Feywild, history of Mirrodin in general. Nothing that really pops out. Like, what exactly do you mean by pop out? I should ask. Like, what is there like a certain subject you're searching for?
Something that doesn't like fit with like the area, like information about an obscure city in the prime material plane or something like that. That would be weird.
Oddities.
Or if something that I didn't know about the Feywild.
Yeah, peering over is much of the same. It's a lot of history and philosophy.
I'll take some. I'll take like a general history book.
Okay.
And a bestiary.
Okay.
Oh shoot, I forgot I got the fucking book on the planes. Totally forgot about that.
I'll give you a +1 on knowledge planes checks. If you like go use that as a reference.
For me, it was remember it was the one on the 9 hells.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was the other one.
Well, okay, so +1 to knowledge planes checks for the 9 hells.
Yeah.
Using that as a reference.
There's another one, but I don't remember what it is, so I'm just gonna say I didn't have it.
Okay. Oh no, you got one on the Shadowfell.
That's what it was, Shadowfell. Thank you.
Yep.
In the food bowl? Yeah, I know.
Anything else that you're peering through, Gregor? So you get a general knowledge on the Feywild, say in the last couple hundred years, and then a bestiary of known creatures of the Feywild.
That's not necessarily just for me. That's for future. If I need to get someone up to speed on information.
Yeah, or like you see an animal out in the wild and you're not really sure what it is, you could make a knowledge planes and then have like a plus to identify that creature.
All right, now I'm gonna go look for this bookshelf that Aurelius mentioned upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there was at least one.
So where was this bookshelf?
I'll
It was in the back.
take you up there.
Okay. Teleport. Just so you're aware, I can't see shit.
I know, I got you.
Alright. I am
What's up,
back.
homie?
How about now?
I can see shit.
Hey.
Rap, get done checking that bookshelf.
No, he's still doing
I
it.
He
rolled
went
a nat
upstairs.
1.
Yeah, he went upstairs.
Yeah.
What's on this table?
Various food, meats, and then as you can see, like a cheese wheel. So as you search up there, Gregor, we'll go back down to the first floor and find out what you guys want to do. Elowin, Aurelius, you guys have pretty much both agreed to leave the house as it be.
Yeah, I'm waiting to essentially leave and move on.
Okay. And Elowin, you're keeping that note to yourself at this time, correct?
Yeah.
Are these doors or windows?
Where at?
Are these doors or?
They're basically foundations of the wall. They're, I guess, support. So it's not like a window or a door or anything. It's just kind of things protruding from the. Yeah, like a beam. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And this is just like an empty little hallway?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go change into shorts real quick.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I essentially am just wanting to move on. So.
Ooh, books. Oh, you moved. What?
Did I move you?
Yeah.
My bad.
Let's look at these books. Hopefully I don't look as terribly at these books as I did at the other book. If I do, I'm gonna cry. Is it better?
I mean, yeah, that's better, but looking for any sort of oddities, things relating to the material plane, any sort of
Weird shit.
pop words that are like just when you read over them, it catches your attention. Nothing really of that sort.
Is this also a bookshelf, or is that something else?
That is a fireplace.
Oh, that's definitely not a bookshelf. Okay. Back downstairs.
Okay, I'm back for good now.
Okay. So you're all met back in the
Well met.
common area.
You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm
So-
still stuck upstairs.
Our options
You're
is
still stuck upstairs?
is the scroll she gave me a portal?
Yes, it's a teleportation scroll, 2 kind.
Okay, so here's our options, guys. We can either continue walking to Stenwolf, or we can skip over Stenwolf for now and take this, and I pull out the scroll, to Kine, and then go to Stenwolf afterwards if we still need to.
I mean,
And this is a teleportation scroll, I'm assuming. We all
We
on
should
the same
have-
page.
we should have Gilderoy look at it to make sure that it's, you know, not funky.
I'm down wherever we need to go, but I would like to know why both parties are interested in the item.
Well, we already know why our people are interested in it.
But there's 2 other parties.
I mean,
Yeah,
Aurelius,
the
you were
same
told why the
ones.
Deowin Initiative
Yeah.
wants the artifact.
Yeah, they want to study it, so but that's still
Yeah, but for what cause?
Yeah, I
that's
got you.
true.
Got you.
That's
true.
That's
Why
what
I
do
we
do not
don't
know.
know. Yeah, we don't. You don't just study things. And
But
like,
we
yeah.
also don't know that it, like what's his name, Magnus said that the Talons of St. Lawrence were looking for it, but the guy that he's going to talk to isn't part of them anymore, from what I understood. Is that correct?
Yeah, remember there was 2 guys that he had mentioned.
and they were essentially like exiled.
They got expelled with him.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So the Deowin Initiative is going to go talk with these ex-Talons of St. Loris.
No.
No. Magnus, who is also an ex-Talons of St. Loris, is going to talk to his guy, who is also essentially excommunicated from the Talons of St. Lawrence, because they fucked up.
Why
Did we
don't we
forget to
find
mention
out?
that Magnus is the ex-leader? of the
Yes.
town?
Yes.
Why don't we go with Magnus?
Because he's
He's
already
already
gone.
Take up these people.
Yeah,
We should ask him when he gets back what they originally
Well, he's not.
wanted with
He's
it.
not coming back necessarily. Like he
He's
told
gonna
us where we could
meet
meet
up
him.
with us.
We
Well, no,
should go.
he didn't say. He never said anything about meeting up with us. He said he had to go talk to this guy, and that if we wanted to, we could meet him in. It was one of the floating cities, wasn't it?
Yes. It was.
Something with a Z.
It was Zarth, wasn't it?
No. It wasn't the big one. It was. Sorry, let me go back in my notes.
Arendelle?
It was. Kaldar.
Kaldar. Oh, the little village. Gotcha. So, yeah, it was.
It's not.
in that,
It's not a village. It's one of the floating cities.
Is
It
it?
is a
Just
city.
it doesn't look like one of the cities compared to the other 3.
Oh yeah,
It's the smallest.
yeah, it's smaller than the
It's
bigger
smaller.
ones. But,
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
um,
Okay.
City of Kaldar
So yeah,
residential district. The man that Magnus was talking to owns a small magic shop by the name of Osnum Keep, which is where you could assume he was heading. Osnum Keep.
Yeah. So, our options are, I guess, I still think that our 2 options, like we could go to Kaldar, yeah, but the 2 that make the most sense because they're on the way are either Stenwolf, which we would continue walking to, or we could take this portal to Kine and go there. Like those are our 2 options at the moment.
Can't we go to Kine whenever we choose? And
That is
meet up
true.
with
Because
the-
we have the
with
scroll.
the Talon Initiative. So
That is true.
why don't we first go find Magnus, meet with him, talk to him about the Talon's plan
We don't know
with the
that's thing,
artifact.
we don't know their plan because he's not with them anymore, and he didn't know. We've already asked them.
Their original plan.
We already asked him like what their plan was for it, and he wasn't sure. He just knew that one of his friends was looking for it.
Aurelia speaks up and she says,
the guys. Oh, sorry.
"You're
Go
good."
ahead.
She says, "You're just assuming that we could go there at any time. I mean, if we don't respond in, say, a few days to a week, or even 2 weeks at that, they may think that
We're uninterested.
We're uninterested,
Exactly.
and it could be a one-shot thing."
Well, we could also request another if we do think that it's a necessity that we make contact now.
I hate to say it, but why
we
don't
could
we?
ask for another scroll to make communications later.
Say wild, though,
Either
that
way,
might not-
that involves us going there. So
Um, Okay, let me ask this then. Magnus's people that he's going to meet with, they didn't know the reason either.
No,
The guy he's going to talk to is the guy that was sent. Like, he was the one that was looking for it. He was the one that had intrigue with it.
So to kind of give you guys like a brief
So then
rehash.
we should probably question him.
Magnus was exiled from. He wasn't necessarily. I mean, he was exiled,
It was like a
but
self-exile.
yes, there was an operation that had went on way back, some like 50, 60 odd years ago, to capture the Worldhammer on the material plane, which was held in possession by King Grindor in Jericho. The Talons had sent people out to capture this mission. Unfortunately, it failed, and due to that happening, Magnus went into exile himself. The Talons eventually found him. They personally excommunicated him to the Feywild along with the other guys.
If he was the leader, then when all this mission shit was going down, he wouldn't know why they wanted. Like, wouldn't he know why they wanted the artifact from the king?
I don't know. The way he worded it made it seem like it was some weird thing going on. I'm not 100%.
Well,
That's a load of
do we-
bullshit
did
if
he
he's telling you he
mention-
doesn't know why.
Wait, did he specifically mention that the person who was also looking for it was a Talon? The guy he went to talk to.
What he had told you guys is that he was excommunicated and exiled to the Feywild along with several other people that took place in that operation that failed. However, he just found out when you guys had told him that the Worldhammer was in the Feywild. He didn't know that before, so he is going to Kaldar to speak with a former member of the Talons of St. Lawrence to tell him, like, hey, this is in the Feywild. Like, you're not really sure why or what sort of repercussions could come from that. However, that's all he said, is that he has to let this person know that this artifact is now in the Feywild.
I hate to say it, but I propose half of us go to Klein and the other half go to stop this meeting or do something about it.
Why would we stop it?
Why would you want the old Talons of St. Lawrence to know that the fucking artifact's in the Feywild? If you're trying to bring it to Felix, you don't really want other people knowing that it's here.
That was my whole thing about last session with the whole trusting him blindly because we don't know his intentions.
Are you kidding me? Like, half of us should go.
They also don't know where it is.
But if they know that it might be here, it might cause a third party to go looking for it.
Yeah, we can narrow it down to only us and the Towin initiative if two of us go to kind of do this positive, like, alliance with the Towin, because they already know it's here. We can't stop them
Deowin,
from
by the way.
knowing. Or Deowin, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
But if we go, back and also stop this meeting, then, or like, distract or like make a distraction or do something to intervene in the meeting somehow or stop Magnus from talking with the old Talons of St. Lawrence,
Eloin,
then we can.
Eloin?
Yeah.
We're more than a week worth of distance away from the
Then we're
floating
gonna
city.
have to ride pretty fucking fast.
Do you see where Kine is? It's right next to it.
Kind of bring
Like
you
at
guys
that
to
point.
the.
It's maybe a day travel, and then
That from
teleport to Kine.
do we
Kaldar.
even know how to get up here from here?
My guess is airships or portals. But no, we don't technically know for sure. Are those aren't just regular islands, correct? They're legit floating.
They are legit floating cities.
Okay. So it's like fucking fuck. Cody, in World of Warcraft that fucking floats. What the hell is the name of that place?
All right, I'm back.
Starts with a D.
Sorry.
Never mind, I'm gonna Google it. He didn't hear me.
Yeah,
It starts with the D.
It's like rap, fuck. Draconia. It's like that.
Are you talking about from Critical Role?
Yeah, it's like floating cities.
Dalaran. It's like Dalaran. That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was picturing.
The magic city of Dalaran.
Yeah, well, I wish I would have heard your question. That would have been
No,
pretty
no,
easy
you're
if
good.
it's
You're good.
Dalaran.
Yeah. I couldn't. I knew it was a D, but my brain kept saying Darnassus, but I knew that wasn't right.
You're looking for a city. Yeah, Darnassus is Night Elves.
That's Night Elves. So yes, they're legit just floating. Yeah, my guess is fucking airships or like a portal. That's the only thing that can get you there.
One moment.
So we don't have any choice then. We have to go to Kine. If this is the plan.
Well, I didn't know Kine was so close to where
It is. It's.
the Talons were meeting, or
Is
ex-Talons.
this?
So do you see the map, Cody?
Yeah.
So look at the floating
This
cities
is
and look at
Kine.
Kaldor.
And we need to go
And
over
then-
here.
Yeah, like almost at
Kaldor.
like it's at Kaldor. Yeah, it's so do you see the big Zarth, the big city, the big
Yeah,
floating city? Look to it's like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. That Kaldor is the little one right next to it.
This one.
Oh yeah.
And then to Kaldor's like it'd be
Kaldor.
like it's 9 o'clock, I guess. Not 9 o'clock. That's like a fucking 45. So to like it's 10 is Kine in the little mountains, like in the crest of the mountains.
Yeah.
That's Kine.
Sorry about that.
So yeah, he's going to meet in Zarth
No, he's
or Kaldar.
It's Kaldar, yeah.
Okay, so then and Kine's right here.
And
Yeah,
my
so
guess is one of those two cities on the coast has got a port to get to the fucking floating cities.
So what we do, yeah, is we just teleport there to Kine, and then we have half the party stay in Kine to keep interest with the Deowin, and then we have the other half go to Kaldar.
Well,
I don't
if we're
know. I'm
actually
not a
trying
fan
to
of splitting
stop
up.
them,
To
if we're
stop.
actually trying to stop this meeting, I think us splitting up is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Or we could tell the Deowin that what we're trying to do to stop another party from searching for the artifact. And the Deowin could help us stop this meeting.
Possibly.
Deowin.
Deowin.
When people mispronounce your
Deowin.
names.
The Towin.
Well, I didn't hear it, alright? Report, sorry.
Well, maybe you should fucking listen, broski.
I haven't been here, man.
So,
We learned about the Dowin initiative 3 weeks ago. You think we remembered?
this is true. The last session, there was a long hiatus.
That's true. I don't know. I do think splitting up's a bad idea as well. But
I just offered a better solution.
here's the thing. So another thing real quick.
Ask the Deowin.
Out of everybody that we've asked about the City of Glass, which is where this Worldhammer is supposed to be, the only person that we found out that might know where the City of Glass is in Stenwolf. For all
Yeah.
we know, the Deowin Initiative have no fucking idea where they're looking because they just had somebody in Del Riven searching some dude's house that had nothing about it in there. And Magnus knows nothing about it too, other than we're going to Stenwolf. So maybe our best bet is just going to Stenwolf to find out first.
Yeah, because if we can just get it, I can get us out of here, and it's not a problem anymore.
If
So
you
that's
if you trust the premise that it's gonna be there, then yeah.
That's
Well,
our only option.
That's the only information we have.
If we go to work with the Deowin Initiative, we're going to tell them the same thing. Or if we go to work with the Talons of St. Lawrence, it's going to be the same info either way.
No,
We're
you
the
would
ones-
never. You would never tell them. You would try to find out if what we heard was true or not.
Well, no, we
And
need
if
to
it
find
wasn't,
the
then
city
you would
first.
use the Deowin, right? Unless
I'm
that's
just
what
saying.
you're
I'm just was using it as an example. Like we could get to Stenwolf and cut this whole thing off at the fucking head.
Yeah, but what if it's not actually there? Then you cut your
No, it's
connection
not
to the
in
Deowin because
Stenwolf.
we're not going to be back in
It's-
time.
It's not in Stenwolf. We're going
No,
to Stenwolf
but
to
the
talk
guy
to a person
Who knows
about
where the City of
where
Glass
it might
is?
be.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that's our only fucking lead that goes towards this. Everything else is going away.
Yeah, so that's fine, but like what I'm saying is for a backup, if like this guy doesn't really know,
Oh
and
yeah,
we
no, I
are
know. Like
timed
we're
on
screwing
getting
ourselves
to-
because of that.
yeah, like you cut out. So here's the thing, right? If you trust that it's in this city, and then you go and talk to this guy that could be our only lead, and then it ends up being complete bullshit, then you have to like try to get back to Klein in time to, you know what I mean?
Yes, I get it. It's just that's a lot of traveling.
And then
so
you
we
fucked
could do
yourself
it.
out of a partnership with someone who might
No,
be
possibly. We don't even know.
possibly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why what I propose it was to split up and do that. But if it might be better than to have, I think we need multiple like things done in a very short period of time, and because of that, I recommend splitting up for time reasons. Like we can get more done if we have more of us out there of our party.
We also put our
Selves
individuals
at
at
risk.
risk.
Yeah, you put your survival chances at risk, but sometimes you have to take risks to get,
Speaking for
What you
Aurelia, she's wondering why you think this all has to get done in a short period of time.
Yeah.
because if the Kinds want us there to follow up on this deal, and then you said like Stenwolf is where the guy is, that's very far away.
So essentially, you're saying that the decision making has to be done very quickly, not necessarily the
Exactly.
objective.
We need to have a plan of what we need to do before we're out of time.
Yeah,
We need to know
well,
what's going on.
Well, I'm saying that, like, say we all, as a party, decide not to split up, and then we go down to fucking Stenwolf, because we want to follow up on our lead and try to cut the middleman, right? Of the Deowin and the fucking Kaldar, like the X-Talons and all those guys. We want to cut them out of the equation. So we go straight to Stenwolf and meet with this dude. Well, then the problem with that is, what if this dude leads to nothing? It's just a bunch of bullshit, what he's saying. And the Kinds want us there soon, or else it looks like we lose interest, right? Like Aurelia said. So if we go back to Kind, like a week later, after finding out the Stenwolf guy's lead was crap, then we're screwed out of a partnership with Kind.
Do you think a week would be enough time for them to think that we've lost interest?
Considering they gave us a portal of instant teleportation.
Will it? It just.
So, can I give a viewpoint real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The City of Glass is basically all but unheard of. Like, nobody knows.
Old.
Everybody we ask, nobody fucking knows what we're talking about. This one guy, like, I doubt that the city that seems to be a myth of where this thing is going to be a dead end by this one guy who may know about it, considering this is the one guy that may know about this fucking mythological city, apparently. It just seems a little like if the City of Glass is real, and this is where we're supposed to be going, which is exactly where what's his nuts told us to go.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to go there because
which is why I'm saying you shouldn't abandon it completely, but you should send like half the party there to you get it. So then like half the party's Kind furthering the deal with them, and then half the party's in Stenwolf following up on the lead.
Yeah, that's what we need to.
It's
we need
risky,
to come up with a decision.
but it lets you be in both places at once.
If I could throw something in quickly, the odds of you guys going to Stenwolf and talking with this Maester Nim and him having no idea what the fuck the City of Glass is and it just be another dead end is about the same chances of him knowing everything by your guys' collective information gathering.
Yeah.
So you're thinking of the negative
He'll know
a particular
something.
He'll know something just as much as he knows nothing. Odds-wise, you're kind of just looking at a negative here. Whereas it could also be, him knowing something, I guess.
I'm just saying, one
is
a risk where one lets you cover every area.
My vote is that we travel to Stenwolf. He'll give us the info, and then we can teleport to Klein if that's what we think we need to do as best. But I think we should travel to Stenwolf.
Do we just have an on-hand teleport to Kind?
Yeah, that's what the scroll is.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah. Then let's.
Yeah.
Wait
Why
a minute. Okay.
My vote is Stenwolf.
Fucking hell. Then yeah, we definitely go to Stenwolf because we can just always teleport back to Kine.
Yeah, but if
Yeah, that's why I was saying. Do you think that a week would be enough time for them to say that we've completely lost interest?
it's completely possible, especially with a scroll of immediate teleportation.
Yeah, and that's what I was. That's my viewpoint on that. Is that it's instant teleportation, so it shouldn't take.
We would just literally have to tell. In any case, even if like the lead is taking way too long, like it takes over a week, we can just be like, okay, we've found out enough information from this dude, or we can just like split up then or make a decision then. We have a scroll that like instantly gives us access to go talk back with the Deowin. Like
Given to you by members of the Deowin Initiative, so in case you guys do want to go to Kine, you could always ask to just get a scroll to Stenwolf as well, and you know.
That's true. That was what I was thinking. They could teleport us back to Stenwolf if we say we have some info. But at that point, we're telling them that we know somebody.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the problem.
Yeah, which is exactly what you said you didn't want to do.
Or not necessarily that you have
Setting up
info, that it's just say that you might have a lead and like lie your ass off.
Yeah.
No, telling them that we have a lead in Stenwolf is a problem. We don't want anyone knowing that Stenwolf is where we're trying to go.
Yeah, honestly, I think we should just go from Delriven to Stenwolf and then
How long will it
teleport
take us?
up to Kine.
It'll take you
Yeah,
way more than a
no,
week
it-
to get to Stenwolf from where you're at.
Yeah. You know what? Let's teleport to Kine, and then we're like, if we don't want to give away that we're going to Stenwolf, let's just go to one of the cities next to it and walk from there. Like, if that's what we're worried about, which it makes sense. So let's just teleport to Kine so we can get this info since it's fucking
Okay.
instant, and then go from there.
Is the distance from Kine to Stenwolf a lot shorter than the
okay,
distance
wait.
from where we are to Stenwolf?
It looks about the same.
what
From
we were-
Kine to
Well, Cody-
Stenwolf
Cody was
versus...
gonna ask a question.
Yeah, sorry.
What we were just like arguing over, like on which path we take, actually matters again then, because now you're using up the teleport.
But we could just get another teleport back to Klein.
Kine? Yeah, okay.
I love how these names.
If they ask us where like we're going, or like why do we
Well, we
need
just
another
say-
teleport? What are we doing? Like,
In
yeah,
case we need
gotta
to
have-
tell them, in case we need to contact them again, if we get more information about
Why
the
don't
Worldhammer.
we deal with that when we get there? We can't think of the scenario to everything. Maybe they
Well-
don't ask us why we're going there. Maybe we just go there. Like, we have to make a decision now. We're taking up way too much time trying to figure out.
We should get out of this house.
Yeah, I say we go to Kine. We need to get a decision dealt with.
Then just use the scroll now.
We
Okay,
need to go
I'll-
get. We need to go get.
Oh yeah, the horsey poos.
Wait, can we take the horses?
I'm sure.
They are like thin enough that they would be able to fit through.
What I saw.
Yeah.
Even the dad.
Well, not
bod?
necessarily what you saw, but conjuring a portal, like a normal teleport portal, could have a horse walk through. The carriage, you wouldn't be able to take the carriage.
Yeah, we
Fuck.
definitely.
Let's get the shit out of the carriage. Divide it between the horses.
Rip Gildra's carriage.
Yeah, pretty much. But,
Okay, so let's get the hell out of the house, and
Yeah,
we're going to get our things gathered and teleport to Kine.
okay.
sure.
So, exiting the building, out the back, meeting up again with Gildray as you come forth. He's just kind of not kept himself directly out front of the house, kind of off to the side, trying to make sure he's not seen as loitering as best as he can. Coming out to him, he notices you guys coming up and immediately asks you if you guys have found anything.
Yes, we're going to travel to the city of Kine. Somebody met us, or was already in that building, and she told us that we might be able to arrange something to work together to find out where the Worldhammer is, essentially, to put a long story short.
We're traveling all the way to Kine?
We're teleporting to Kine, and I
Yeah.
motion towards the scroll.
He holds out his hand to take the scroll from you.
Yeah,
I'll
he
let him
should look
at
at it.
Yeah. He's got the arcane knowledge.
Taking it in his hand, he begins to look at, open it up, kind of read it, look at its authenticity.
This is a scroll of spontaneous combustion.
A scroll of grand fuckery.
As he's
I
reading
would
it.
just laugh if he burned it or ripped it.
No, he's not going to do that. He is, however, going to inquire as to who you met in the building.
reads
Her
in this
name
one?
was. Let me pull up my notice.
He's just a deadbeat.
Mel Shira.
Now, Shira. Okay then. And why are we going there again?
They offered to work with us to get the artifact that we look for, or at least help us gather info. We're essentially going there to use them to get info.
Okay, I'll trust you guys, I guess.
I'll allow it.
And as you guys kind of find your way further down the street, we kind of do this in a less
I thought we were
flashy.
just gonna go in the woods.
The woods are pretty thick. You wouldn't find like necessarily like good clearing, especially to take the horses through. But just kind of getting out of the way a little bit of the normal road, I should say. Gilderoy begins to sort of, as he's reading the scroll, begin to conjure the same sort of blue, arcane mist of energy. And as the light streaks are kind of coming out, I mean, this is kind of dusk, as we had mentioned, so it's not as spectacular as the room. However, the pin-sized, I guess, circle held aloft in the air darts out about 6 feet in front of him, going from about the size of the head of a pin to about the size of a quarter, to the size of about, say, probably 7 foot across, about 6.5 feet high. Not really making any loud noises. However, as you kind of peer in, the edges kind of crackle and the mists and energy kind of spiral in a clockwise direction inside the portal. And you guys are taking, of course, everybody and the 2 horses, correct? And you guys have offloaded much of the carriage onto your horses.
Don't worry, Gilderoy, we can get another carriage.
And so as stepping through the portal, one by one, each carrying your horses, Aurelius and Gregor.
Yes,
moving,
carrying the horses.
Well, you know what I mean. Moving through the large portal, kind of this cool energy sort of air kind of brushes over you, and what almost seems to pierce through you, and then out the back, moving through this portal to the village of Kine rests just probably, I would say, about 5-minute walk from the actual village itself, kind of on the side of this mountain right here. And peering down below is the small village of what you can only assume is Kine. It's not going to take you but 5-10 minutes walk. And as you can see below, it's much of the same architecture as, say, Essence or Nilthorn, where you guys have been previously. Various people kind of moving around. You notice particularly about this town is that there's very large temples, churches to what you can assume is maybe different Feywild gods or different gods in general. Demons, maybe. You're not quite sure. But
Or Fae, even.
Or Fae, even. But other than that particular detail, it's much the same as a regular town. Beautiful backdrop of the mountains is another addition. And about 10 minutes later, you guys arrive at the forefront of the village. Not fortified by any sort of walls or anything. It seems to be a very quaint town. But this is your town to explore. So, what's on the agenda?
Go to the Dragon Eye Inn.
Okay.
That was what she said to do.
Yeah.
So, peering throughout the town, making your way up and down. Did you want to saddle the horses in any particular place?
I mean, outside the tavern should be fine. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Searching for about 20-30 minutes max. Some time goes by until you're met with this very rustic tavern. Old and doesn't look to be restored in many spots, as much of the other buildings are. You know, like a building will occasionally, the structure will kind of deteriorate, and you'd have to go in and restore it. However, this one looks like they're meaning to preserve the age, and you know, you can see the little sign out front, the Dragon Eye Inn, and coming up to its doors as you make your way through, after settling up the horses, of course, you are met with this kind of ballroom-esque tavern, bar stools and various tables. Not so much crowded, it's about half capacity, but still enough people to have a good time and drink and things of that sort. And get other fucking so
what are we actually doing here, Marcus?
We were told to come here and order a drink called the Quartering. Was that right?
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Making your way
Do you care
to
if I drink it?
What? I don't even know if they're actually gonna bring us a drink or not.
If
this is
it's
true.
really a drink, can I drink it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Damn.
So
Maybe it's a drink that lets you see into another dimension where they actually are hidden, like all out throughout the bar. Like,
It's a fucking.
think about that.
It's like a parallel dimension
Yeah,
No, it's an
that
illusion.
exists at the same time.
It's an illusion.
yeah,
That's
it
fair. It
doesn't
would just be an
fucking make
illusion.
sense. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
True sight.
making your way to a small table enough to fit the five of you. You begin to sit down, kind of take a load off of the long journey from Del Riven to Kine, and
It was exhausting.
it was exhausting. Yeah, probably about half a minute later to a minute later, a nice barmaid comes over, sets down some menus in front of you, and says she'll give you about 5 minutes to look over the menu, and that she'll be right back.
Okay.
Picking up the menu though, this menu is
It's not
fairly
gonna be on the
larger.
menu.
It's fairly larger than a normal tavern, and upon looking at the drinks and cocktails and ales, there's no mention of a drink called the Quartering.
Yeah, it's not gonna be on the menu.
Still want to drink it? Cause you can't, bitch.
Dead end.
Menu.
Another dead end.
That's it.
Your menu
Fucking
shit.
redhead bitch got us, damn gingers.
Those soulless.
I knew I shouldn't have trusted her white eye.
She gave you the stank eye.
I don't think that's what that means.
Several minutes goes by, and the barkeep comes back. This time with a pen and paper. All right, now how may I be assisting you tonight?
Yes, I'd like to order a drink called the Quartering.
And as she begins to write down, as you mentioned the drink, the Quartering, her pen stops. She looks at all of you. She says, "One for each?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for you, sir?
That should be it. Thank you.
Good.
She closes up her notepad, sticks it in her her apron pocket, and turns around and walks back to the back.
And yeets herself off the roof.
It's just a bunch of cocaine.
In a moment's notice, very obviously from what you guys can gather is that before going to enter any of her other tables, she assists you with your guys' drink as she goes back, and you can see her kind of gozing about looking for various small cups, essentially. And what she comes back with is this kind of this mug, this white mug. They're all the same. This white mug, sort of like not very huge, but enough to make like a cup of coffee. And she serves it to each of you on a napkin. And from what you can peer inside, it's sort of this dark brown, blackish coffee-like substance that kind of has steam radiating off the top of it.
Coffee, liquor.
Okay, you can drink it. Go ahead.
As she kind of sits down, all of your guys' cups, she reaches for her notepad again, and she says, "Are you sure there's nothing else I can get you, sir?"
I don't believe so.
And as she looks at you and at the rest of the party, the general atmosphere of the tables is in agreement, and she takes her leave.
I just look around at the party.
All right.
I'm gonna write down
notes.
Someone want to drink the poison first, or
Yeah,
like?
I take a look at the part, look at everybody. I give a nod, and I just down it.
Okay. As you pick up...
Oh, fuck, what?
As you
No.
pick up the... Is everybody else drinking it as well?
No,
I'm taking
no.
sips.
Alright,
No.
Gregor,
Because I want to take my notes.
Okay. Gregor, you take a sip, and it's very hot. However, it does not burn your mouth.
Tastes like liquid butthole.
It does. It's very much like a black coffee type taste. It's very bitter and not very pleasing. Aurelius, you down the thing. In addition with Gregor, it's very bitter.
Bitter.
However, as you chug it, basically you're downing it. You come back, you hold the mug in your hand, and you look down at this empty coffee mug. And as you look down past the coffee mug to the napkin, 4 letters are written on the napkin.
What are they?
S-H-A-R. A name.
Shar.
Shar.
Okay.
Yeah, what the fuck do we do with this?
You guys okay?
Yeah, it's just really bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no sort of like really side effects.
It's actually just coffee. Was it actually just coffee?
It was a coffee like it was basically a Feywild-esque coffee like drink. I'm not gonna say it is
Yeah,
coffee,
it's literally
but
coffee.
It's like that coffee that they use that they fucking
Civet.
pick the coffee beans out of cat poop and then make
You
it
mean civet coffee?
whatever the fuck.
For
Um,
monkeys.
They do the same thing with cat. There's a cat one too. But yes, you are correct. There's a monkey. Pick coffee beans out of monkey duty. So at Shar, does anybody else have the name written on their paper, or is it just the one?
I am going to.
Did we lose you, Poppy?
No.
No, he's just thinking about something. I don't know.
Does anybody else have knowledge
Yep.
religion?
I do because I
Alrighty.
have all of them.
I already made one for you.
I don't think I do. Be surprised if I did. I have knowledge stab.
No.
Knowledge how to poke.
Let me check if Gildray has it.
Yeah, he's the other person that will.
It does.
Knowledge
I cast-
angry.
Okay.
Cast fist.
Alright.
Muscle wizard.
Gildray is sipping his Feywild coffee. And seemingly not enjoying it whatsoever.
This is some serious gourmet shit. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, thanks for that. Sick reference.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, Raelius, the name shard to you has it bears no meaning.
Rap, dude.
Do I have any clue what this means?
You don't know that it's there, as far as I know.
Oh.
You know that rap radar thing? It just came on, by the way, when you said that. Like, I just want you to know.
The radar.
Raptor.
Raptor.
Oh, man.
You
Okay.
you are the only one that seemingly noticing this name on your napkin.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look over at one of their napkins.
Okay. As you peer over to Gregor's and Gildroy's, they have no name written down, as well as Elowin and Aurelia, that you can see.
Interesting.
You
I'm gonna
tripping?
take mine and like pass it over to we'll say Gregor since Basic isn't technically here.
Okay.
Alright.
Gregor, from your peripheral vision, as you begin to sip this coffee and kind of like expecting some sort of side effect to procure itself.
Pass out.
Yeah, you're expecting something like you guys came all the way here to order the quartering, and you know it's not on the menu, and
Just fucking get shot in the back of the head.
Get.
from what you can see, Aurelius to your right is slowly moving his napkin towards you, and from what you can see in your vision, as you look down upon the table, the name Shar, S-H-A-R, comes into view, and your initial reaction, the initial memory that comes up, is of the goddess Shar.
What do I know about it?
That mean anything to you?
Well, I rolled I rolled a knowledge religion check to see if you knew about her at all. I'll have you roll another knowledge religion for
See how
details
much
on
I
her.
actually know.
Yeah.
The name's familiar.
And as you're
Right.
kind of moseying it on over to Gregor, Aurelia has now piqued your attention
There we
towards
go.
you. 22. So Shar, the goddess, her main domain is trickery.
I'm gonna like scoot, everybody like
Okay.
huddle
Okay.
around the table. So, this is the name of the goddess of trickery. Sure. Of the Primaterial
sounds
plane,
about
or is it a Feywild goddess?
It's no, it's not a Feywild particular goddess. It's just a goddess.
Okay. Yeah.
Gildroy
Okay.
has his eyebrows
Not
raised as if
massive
he is aware
fan.
somewhat of Shar as well.
Okay, but what does this mean? Are we supposed to like? Is there a temple we're supposed to look for? Like,
I would
I
assume
don't
so. There were
understand.
quite a few temples when we entered town. But we should be careful. I'm not quite a fan of the shard because I'm not a huge fan of tricking people.
Do I see the name on the napkin, Ryan?
Yes.
Okay, even without drinking the fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Fucking,
invisible
like,
ink. You have to
true
drink it
sight
in order to
potion.
fucking see it.
Dude, I was like, wait, maybe
That'd be
it's
pretty
like some
interesting.
tricky thing where you have to drink and then like you see the letters on the hidden napkin or something,
That'd be
like
pretty interesting.
invisible. Yeah.
We're tripping balls, man.
Yeah, I was about to be like, what the fuck are you guys seeing? Like, yeah. I was like, yeah.
Oh fuck, they're all crazy.
Aw, cuck.
Damn it.
But
Yeah, I'm unsure. I'm not very
yeah,
well
I
versed
don't-
with gods of any kind, so
You know,
I can only think to find a temple or pray to some random god.
It's probably asking us to go to the temple.
Your sort of initial reaction to the village with its many temples and shrines essentially would be very likely that there would probably be some sort of temple here or some sort of building for the goddess Shar that it's kind of like pointing you to.
Okay, interesting.
Finish your coffee first.
You want another cup, and I just hand Gregor my cup. Exactly.
Do I
expect no
Do I feel energized from it like coffee would?
Assuming that you've spent most of your life kind of away from
I
modern...
wouldn't have had coffee in any other, like no kind of drinks like this, I guess.
Yeah, this is true.
My
It's not.
It's basically ale.
Yeah, it's
Virgin
not so much like.
coffee tasting.
I mean, it caffeinates you. It kind of wakes you up and gives you that sort of
Boost.
that yeah, I guess
A
boost.
weak
But
feeling. Okay.
yeah, but other than that, it's
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, you know what? That would be some like Marauders map shit, too. Like
Mhm.
how I was picturing it. Oh man.
Alright,
Yeah,
you
we
guys.
should. So it's just literally telling us to go to the temple.
Yeah, probably.
How long
Just-
is that guy in Stunwolf?
He
It
lives there.
yeah, my guess is that he lives there. Yeah, we weren't given a time.
We were
on it,
told
right?
that he lives there.
Oh.
But the person who told us hadn't talked to him in 10 years.
Yeah, it had been a while, so.
Oh
But
shit.
he knew that he.
That's
yeah,
the main
he-
problem. That's what makes the information unreliable.
Oh, it's up to you guys. I don't.
Well, we should probably.
Well, let's look around and see if we can find a temple for the.
Because if we've already shown up and ordered the drink, like they'll know.
Yeah.
So we should go.
And my guess is to go to the temple. That's. Like I said, my character's not well versed with gods of any kind, so. That's all I can think of to do.
with that 22 in total, you would be able to distinguish a sigil, like a rune, or I don't.
The symbol.
Yeah, essentially of Shar that you could kind of point out and identify.
I should be able to lead us straight to the temple.
Well, go on. Come on.
Get up. Everyone has to get up.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Okay.
Well, I'm waiting for you.
All right. So
Someone has to pay the ticket.
Haha, guess who didn't drink a drink?
You.
Still ordered one.
Hey,
Yeah.
shut up. Free drink. Why you gotta ruin my fucking day like that? Like,
How you gonna call me out like that, asshole?
yeah, why you gotta call me out like that? I'm pretty sure Gregor would have just been like, yeah, alright.
Do I look like Gregor? Hey, I gave you back your rations.
Yep.
Who's paying for the drinks?
What do you mean? Pay for your drink?
And the one you drank. Mine.
Yeah, pay for your Cody's drink.
I'll pay for mine.
about a minute or two later, the barkeep comes back. Are you enjoying everything, sir?
Yeah. How much do I owe you?
Yeah, these are free, right? Fine.
Fuck! Please tell me these are free.
As a matter of fact, these ones are on the Dragon Eye Inn.
Thank you.
Interesting.
See, boys.
Okay.
You get into a secret organization, mafia family. No.
So
Yeah, boys, we're fucked.
You guys are you guys are basically the Sopranos
We're too
now.
deep. We just got fucking we just got free drinks,
You've been
dude.
recruited, and you only leave in a body bag.
Yep.
okay. Well, I nod to her. Thank you.
You are most welcome.
It's
Come back
quite
soon.
We will try.
and she
man.
takes her leave.
Yep.
So, to-do list: find this temple.
The temple,
I
yeah,
presume.
that's my guess.
Gathering, your things from what you've set down to kind of relax. Maybe finishing your coffee, maybe not. I know you didn't take a drink. LON, Gregor, I'm guessing you probably finished yours, or at least you downed yours.
I drank
Yeah.
2.
That's
I
gross.
drank mine and Eloin's.
Leaving the tavern, back into the town. Again, now on your agenda is to find this Temple of Shar and to basically get to the bottom of the Deowin initiative and to meet somebody and just generally get some answers. Going back, not exactly where you came from, because you didn't really see any sort of major temples or big cathedrals like structures.
Anything Shah related.
Yeah,
pretty
you
much.
go to another pathway that kind of takes you in another portion of the town, and probably about 30 to 35 minutes later, Gregor, you spot this rune-like. Let me describe it for you.
A Sahedron star.
It's basically this black circle with a purple outline. So picture kind of like a straight purple circle, and then in the middle of that is a slightly smaller black circle. So it's a black circle with like a purple outline, essentially.
Okay. Or it's an empty purple circle with a black circle in it.
Sure. But this sign is basically nailed into this old, rundown church-like structure. For what you can gather from it, coming up to it, it kind of has several steps that come up to a set of double doors, and these stained glass doors are some, like, there's little bits and pieces that are broken off. It looks like this hasn't been kept up with in decades, probably. The elements kind of slowly eroding it as the years go by, on and on.
Shit's fucked up a little bit.
Yeah, the roof kind of comes up to a point into which it has the symbol on it as well. And from what you can see from the sides, there are windows here and there, but mostly kind of just not kept up with is essentially how this structure's looking. Nobody coming in and out of it, nobody kind of around it, really. It's kind of off the beaten trail.
Well,
However,
gods of trickery aren't often favored.
However, the number one thing you are certain of, that this is a temple of Shar.
This is probably just a disguise.
Coming up to it, as a matter of
Be
fact,
much nicer inside.
you can you try to open one of the doors, and both sets both doors are locked. And kind of peering through one of the shards of stained glass window, as you peer inside, dark, giant dark room with kind of just barely trickles of light coming through the windows, and seats set with inside that are just adorned with cobwebs and eroded wood, to where you can see a podium and a backdrop of Shar.
I'm gonna knock.
Knocking upon the wooden door, the door kind of shakes back and forth as if barely held in place by the hinges. So nothing comes up the door to greet you.
Is there,
I
like,
don't really want to break the door down.
I'm gonna look around and see if there's maybe a back door, or like a cellar or something.
Okay. Aurelius, as you go around, Elwyn, are you staying there with Gregor?
Yeah. That's fine.
Aurelius, as you kind of circumnavigate the church, from what you can see from the sides, the windows, some of them look like they've been smashed through with a small rock, and to where you can kind of peer through and you see much of the same thing. This light peering in to really the only things illuminated are the church seats and the pedestal and the signs up. And as you come around the back, there is another door kind of slightly off, as if it's been broken but kind of put up in a shitty way, and they didn't quite do it right. And then as you kind of come around the back on the other side, it's much the same as the other side that you saw. So
okay, I'll give this door a try.
As you go to turn the doorknob, the interlockings of it don't appear to be secured, so you can turn it and slightly open it.
Okay, does it not open all the way then?
You can open it all the way, however, it's sort of difficult.
Okay, like there's something in the way, or the door is just itself
just
difficult
poor.
'cause it's kind of falling off.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's a poorly made door. Not necessarily poorly made, but just the way it's secured to the.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give like a sharp whistle to kind of get everybody else's attention.
Yeah, as you whistle into the darkness, you can see this kind of long passageway.
I meant more so like outside, so that the rest of the party hears.
Oh,
me.
okay. I thought you were just kind of making noise inside.
Just
No.
whistles at empty corridor.
Yeah. No, I meant just kind of like turn my head and kind of whistle around the building, I guess, to kind of so that the party can hear me.
Yeah, like, hey, come around,
Yeah,
check it out.
you guys do hear an audible whistle in the air.
Yeah, in which case, yeah.
I mean, I guess in another, like, it would technically echo through the building as well, but the main goal was to get everybody's attention.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is that Gregor, you don't see Aurelius on the other side, and let alone you don't hear any sort of whistle coming within the building. It's just kind of around the outside.
See, I told you about the trickery.
I'm guessing I don't see anybody come around the corner when I give that whistle.
Do you guys?
Well, yeah, we go.
Okay. So you guys are met with the back of the church cathedral-like structure, and as you guys peer down the long passageway, the walls much kind of like sort of the same, I guess, structure as the rest of the church, kind of beaten and adorned with cobwebs, and just looks like the elements have just taken its toll on it over the years. Do you guys decide to go in?
I'm gonna once the party's all here, I'll continue opening the door.
Okay.
Like I said, we don't really have a choice.
You get it about most of the way there to where all of you guys could fit, and moving through it. I guess everybody's doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get like.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So moving through it, you guys step into this cold, dark, sort of sour-smelling corridor. Making your way along, you can see paintings on the sides of the passageway. Various, it's showing its age. Just the way these pictures are painted, and the nature of this room. And you eventually come to a point where nothing is illuminated. You're met with torches at one point as you come in, and it slowly gets darker and darker until eventually you guys emerge to a much nicer stone corridor. This time, paintings definitely from this century, this decade, much newer headpieces. Family pieces. This dark stone kind of it's almost abrupt the way that it goes from wood to stone, and the corridor probably goes down I don't know, 30 to 40 feet until you can kind of see light peering through a doorway. Well, I guess there's a doorway at the end of the corridor that light is peering through.
This is why I don't like Shaw.
I'll kind of lead.
Okay.
Being the big boy of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Going or furthering your adventure along the corridor, you hear some voices. Sorry, let me find this in my notes. Going back down, the voices echo slightly, although you can't really make out the nature of the language. But from what you can tell, the room adjacent to this passageway is fairly large, just by the echo.
Okay.
And as you kind of round the corner, you see this large, basically, from what you can gather, is this temple is magically secured, I guess. To where, obviously, as you go inside, this room that you've just entered is much larger than this temple, the temple itself. Draped in cold, like it's basically cold gray mood. A lot of this stone is gray or black. It basically captures the definition of huge. Like you can look up and this thing is basically like a cathedral. 30 yards across, both ways, towering above you. A large stained glass dome resides at the very top, showing pictures of various landscapes and creatures. The floor, however, smooth stone throughout, and on the left, stone steps lead to a higher floor, and from which there you can see sort of this half circle table, or this half circle sort of desk, I should say, with chairs lining around it, almost like a council would sit. Behind the table, a wall of glass, much like Felix's room in his hotel, or is basically in the tower of Northcrest. You know how like he had that basically wall of glass. And that wall of glass is basically much kind of like the same sort of stained glass, and much like the art on the cathedrals above you, it's in stained glass form. Streaks of the Fey sunset kind of move through and kind of changing the different colors of the sunset as they appear through the room. But overall, the lighting in this room is very dim. A man stands with his back turned some 20 odd feet away. I say more like 30 or 40 feet away. And Melshira, as you can see, is about probably 10 feet away from you. As you peer around the corner, she looks towards you, and this man that you can see further away from you is kind of like long brown hair, about 6.5 feet tall. And Melshira kind of looks at you almost as if stunned, or I should say surprised, that this is the path you took. And as you both meet eyes, Elowin and Gregor and Aurelia, everybody else sort of kind of comes around and meets eyes with this sort of medium-sized, probably 5.5 foot female in dark black plate armor, steel battle axe at her side, as well as a shield. Fiery red tips of her hair slowly form into a black over her head, and an icy blue eye and a stark white eye. She looks at you, Aurelius. I did not expect you here so quickly.
Well, we gotta move quickly for what we're doing.
The man turns around. This sickly-looking elven individual, long, sort of caramel-colored hair drapes down the ears, and a noticeable marking starts in between the eyes, right about just above the nose, in between the eyes. It kind of starts right there, and little streaks adorn his forehead, going up and down, much like a tree. starting with its roots at the center of his face coming up, and it kind of like covers his forehead.
Do I have any idea what that means?
No, you have no idea what that means, but he's only wearing black robes at the moment, just draped in black. And over your guys' voices, he speaks, and his voice greatly echoes throughout the room. He says, "Mel, you've brought friends. What are their names?" And Mel kind of looks over at you guys and back at him. Not quite sure if he's wanting you guys to speak or her to speak. But he's eyeing you, Aurelius, and Elwyn, all of you, very intently.
My name is Aurelius. My friends call me Marcus.
Interesting.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
And your friends?
I am Gregor. Jade.
He's eyeing Elwyn at the moment, as you guys are kind of locking eyes in this sort of intense stare.
God damn it.
Yeah, Raptor, try to move your laptop as little as possible.
Holy shit, it makes such a loud noise.
It is big loud.
It is big loud. Big dick energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to give my cat some spot.
I just say Elwyn Lifethorn. Yeah, fuck. Alright.
I didn't give my last name, so.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Shit.
That's not
I
on
did.
me. You heard me.
I did say my last.
And
Yeah, I think I heard rap
That's
last,
rap.
and that's why. Yeah.
Gildroy and Aurelia introduce themselves as well. And Melshira kind of makes her way slightly over towards this elven man. And he says, "My name is Leonid Whitesunder. It's a pleasure to meet you."
What? So if you don't mind me asking, what does your group do exactly?
Me? I am a part of the Deowin Initiative. A group of individuals who've risked their lives and many other deeds, personal deeds, in pursuit of the Worldhammer, an artifact which holds great power that was once held in my hand. But that was a different time. We seek to study it, learn from it. Obviously, you have your reasons for being here. I won't question you much. We all have our secrets.
Dude, everyone in the campaign sounds like it's gonna be their last fucking dying message when they tell us something.
So your group's main goal is to find the Worldhammer, then? Because we seek the same item, as I'm sure your I don't know what to refer. Councilwoman has told you.
I am aware that we both seek this artifact, as any sane person would want. Power. Great power.
Any sane person?
Sources have told me it's here. in the Feywild. Someone very obviously has control over the artifact. I think the villages of Cliffshire, Stenwolf, and Toma are great pieces of evidence for this.
What do you mean?
Well, coming this far, I would assume you've inquired about what had happened there recently.
No one would tell us. Not exactly, at least.
They
They just
didn't have enough information.
they'd be very vague about it. And we wouldn't get a direct answer. My guess is something not pleasant, but again, we haven't been given an exact answer. It's just hushed whispers.
Turning to the stained glass window on which sits the sort of half circle table, he kind of makes his way, traveling about 5 or 10 feet, and is kind of peering at the glass. He goes on. The villages of Cliffshire, Stenwolf, and Toma, as of recently, have been the subject of great interest to the rest of the Feywild. It all started in Stenwolf. In a lapse of judgment and defense, the townspeople overran our lord and murdered him.
Oh, in every town.
This led to a small yet bloody civil war that lasted into the wee hours of rest. Most sources at this point begin to differ in information. However, currently, the same has been done to the other 2 towns, and are currently marching on Eben through the Ellingvern forest as we speak.
Sir?
Who? I'm sorry, marching people like an army?
Some would call it that. A coup would be another word of sorts.
Interesting.
Like I said, someone is in search of the Worldhammer that is not us and has it.
Now, we're in interest to get it out of their hands, of course.
And as are we.
But where do we
Sir,
go
just-
from that point?
Excuse me.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware, but Deowin recently had a similar occurrence.
This is the woman that I met at Pharon's house. I'm sure she's informed him.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess I could have said that.
Yes, I'm aware of Milshira and you folk. But you coming here is essentially... I wanted to ask you if you had anything. The Deowin Initiative has been searching for some time now. And I was hoping that with the introduction of other adventurers that they would have additional information.
We don't, to put it lightly, we don't have any info. That's why we came here. But again, that goes to the question: if we're both in search of this, which one of us gets it?
A slight smirk comes upon the left side of his face, kind of crinkling up his left side, and still not turning to you. He goes on. That is a question for another day, I think.
Is it?
wait. You said other adventurers.
Yeah, nah.
Did we heard tales of others around? Do they belong to your organization?
Some have inclined to joined the Deowin initiative in search of this artifact, and as I think a lot of you would agree, it is in the hands of someone it should not. The mission is to take that artifact away from them. I think we can both agree on this. I think that is a more important task
That's a
than
fair point.
who decides to keep the artifact.
Okay, but
Okay, so if we agree to work with you, it's still we don't have many leads either. Our only leads led to towns that you say have been not ruined, but culprit to these or subject to these uprisings or coups. So any info that may have been at those towns is, probably gone.
Perhaps not. We haven't sent anyone there just yet.
This guy's voice makes me think of any time Dr. Evil is explaining a plot.
Again, everyone talks like they're about to die or something.
I don't know, not that. It just this guy's voice in particular just makes me think of Dr. Evil explaining one of his fucking schemes.
That's
But
like how it sounds. Is it's like
yeah. Anyway,
$1 billion.
yeah. So I guess it makes sense. We should definitely do our best to get it out of the hands of the people who are just trying to lay waste or lay ruin to the Feywilds from the inside. But again, I'm not sure where to start. This is our best lead. That's why we came here.
Oh, what time is it? 12:25. Yeah, she get. God damn it.
Well,
Does he say anything back? That was I was talk.
you good there, Nick?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
Yeah, you cut out.
Okay.
Everyone cut out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, I was talking to him,
Okay. No leads.
considering this was our one lead. Yeah.
Well, perhaps you can think of something. The Deowin initiative are at a standstill as well. You can take Malshira to guide you if you wish. She controls the transportation around here. He looks over at Malshira. Malshira kind of looks over at him, and then looks back at you guys. Perhaps you guys could get together and think of something.
Okay, we can talk about it at the very least.
Mel, fetch these young adventurers a teleportation scroll to Kine, and a destination of their choosing. And she nods her head as he turns around to face you guys again. You can use our chambers for now until you come up with something. Just down the hall to the left.
Okay. I appreciate the hospitality.
We're in the fucking mafia.
And then looking to your right, you can see an additional passageway that goes to a separate part. And down this hallway is much more illuminated, not as sort of what?
Okay.
Yeah, get them face. Definitely more illuminated, more doors. And he is kind of gesturing towards this hallway.
Okay. I will head that way.
Okay.
And these are just 8 quarters. You send it like sleeping quarters.
Yes. No, not necessarily sleeping quarters. It's more like a conference room, essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So making your way, down the hallway to your left, going into this separate room. It's much smaller. Basically has like a planning board, and a table in it. Walking in, closing the door behind you. Moshir steps to the front of the room, as you will kind of gather around. He says, "I know he's very weird, but I've been with him some time now, and I generally think he's good."
Okay. I say we can get into the ethics of everything once we get out of the people who clearly have malintent.
Absolutely. So,
Now, I guess we should talk amongst ourselves and figure out a plan.
the Deowin initiative are at a standstill, unfortunately. We don't have any additional leads, which is why when my future was read in Faywin, I had some glimmer of hope. Really, I mean, I've been doing this for not very long now, and I'm not even really, I don't even know a lot about the Worldhammer, but I was just hoping that there was a place that you might have heard, or somewhere that we could go and investigate, or if you guys aren't comfortable with me going with you, I will talk to Leonid, and that way you don't have someone watching over your shoulder or have that sort of paranoia. I know we're fairly, unknown strangers to each other, but
if you could give us a few moments so I could talk to the rest of my, because it's not just my decision, so I could talk with the rest of everybody. We can kind of come up with a plan and go from there.
Absolutely. If you think of a place, I shall write one up immediately. Assuming that I've been there, of course, or that Leonid has been there. But I think we could conjure something. I will give you a few moments. Just knock 3 times on the door, and I will come back in.
Can do.
And she takes her leave out of the door, and you can hear footsteps kind of clunking away down the stone door back to the large room.
So, my thoughts, I mean, we've got, it seems like whatever we do, we're going to end up having to deal with taking it away from these guys or coming up with something. Maybe we can have them relocate and work with, how do I keep forgetting his name? Dragon Boy. Felix, yeah.
Felix?
Like maybe we can get them to come back and work with Felix on this project. Maybe he'd be okay with them studying it under a controlled area. I don't know. But we definitely need to get it out of the hands of the people that currently have it.
Yeah, causing this terror.
And I don't know how powerful these people are, but from what it sounds like, they've got basically an army. And us 5 can't handle an army.
Definitely not.
So I say we work with these guys. Maybe we still go talk with Magnus and his contact. Maybe they can give us some more info, or maybe we can stop them if we don't want them having this information. But I say our best option is to work with these people.
I think you take that scroll to Stenwolf, and you don't have the guy follow you, but we keep in contact with them just as like a nice little, keep them.
Well, at this point, like either
it buys us time.
we, because like either we find the Worldhammer without them and we have them coming looking for us afterwards,
Mhm.
or we find it with them and we deal with it right then.
We find it without them, and we have them come looking for us.
I'd rather not. That my thought process. I'd rather not have somebody essentially coming after us. So
Well,
I think we should take her with.
I mean, like, we have the protection of Felix, right?
Yeah, but we
Felix-
don't know how much that extends.
Yeah, he can't really back us up over here.
I think we should take her.
Well,
Like I'm not saying I trust her by any means.
there's a
not
way to
fully.
get back really quickly, right? Like, I don't think we should take someone with us to basically. He's saying like, fucking how we have a feeling like eyes are on us. What does like his person he's gonna send with us indicate?
That's
What if
what
they
that's
watch
what she means. Like with her being there, it would feel like we have eyes on us. So
Yeah, so I just, honestly, I would rather just like keep them in contact and then like dip once we find it. I really don't think it's good to just settle it with them because it might not go in our favor, especially if they have a whole organization and shit. Like,
I don't agree. I'm of a different mindset. It's not very honorable to do that.
yeah, it's not. Of course, it's not. But it like we could like get home, get the artifact to Felix. Like Gregor's pretty confident in his ability to get us home, I think. So
Yes.
I can get us back if we need.
But this could also lead, instead of turning the Deowin initiative into enemies, it could lean into turning them into an ally. Like I said, we could end up having them work with Felix instead of turning them into an ally.
You don't
Or
want them
into an
being
enemy.
an ally if they're just gonna take the artifact. Like,
We don't know that that's their intent. Like I said, I don't agree. It's not very honorable to just tell that, like, to lie like that. It's one thing to use somebody for information. It's another thing to tell them, yeah, we'll work on it together and then leave. That's not. All right, honor's all I got.
Gildroy speaks up from the silence. He says, "You know, they still haven't sent anybody to Cliffshire, Toma, or Stenwolf. We have a good guys."
Yeah, no, I agree
Yeah.
100%. Like, we could get one of the portals, he said, back to Kine, and then another portal to wherever we need. I agree. That portal to wherever we need should be Stenwolf, but again, I don't think we need to like hide this from them if they're willing to help us, because to help us get it out of the hands of these people. We can deal with whatever comes afterwards as we can. They're asking us for help, so it's not like I don't know. That's my thought process on it.
yeah,
That's
but
how I see it. That's my vote. I'm committed to it.
I say we use them for whatever we can to get closer to the artifact, get the artifact, and then go to Felix. That's my opinion. But it's up again. It's up to the party.
So that's mine and Cody's votes. So
I think it's dangerous to work with them, but at this point, we do need the scrolls, really.
Well,
they were willing to give us the scrolls either way, whether we
They're
have her come
willing-
along or not.
Yeah.
But I don't agree
know
with the
we're
whole.
gonna
I
have
don't
the
agree with
scrolls.
lying, and just bailing. Like they've clearly put a lot of effort into this. Either it turns into a fight and only one of us comes out, or they work with us. Like those are the options here.
It's no. This is hold on. It's not. Gregor, it's not the difference of whether or not we're gonna get the scrolls, because we're gonna get those automatically. They said. But
Yeah.
it's a difference of whether or not you believe that we should take the artifact for ourselves while just like leaving them in the dirt.
Essentially leaving them high and dry while we take it out from under them.
Right.
That
Versus
could lead to greater consequences.
Versus whether or not you think that, or that we should work with them, get it from the people that we're trying to get it from, and then going on from there and like seeing who now they know we have it though, and then now we got to see who really gets it and work that out. So
That's problematic. I don't want.
one gives us the artifact immediately, and then we don't have to debate who gets it because we have it, but we could make a potential enemy. The other option, make sure we probably have an ally, kinda. There's still a chance we don't, but it gives us the option of having the Deowin as our ally, but it also makes it to where we have to go debate over who gets the artifact now.
I think it would be best for us to if we could work something out where we could have them work with Felix, that would be best.
I don't agree with this whole backstabbing
I don't know if we
stuff.
have time to like contact Felix and then get it set up with them. And
well, it's not that it's not time to do that. It's just whenever, like for example, we find the Worldhammer, we get back, and they're like, "All right, well, we want it." No, we want it. We can tell them like, "Okay, how about we both go back together with the item to the material plane and talk to our employer, who actually can talk to them and see what their goals are and all that." Like that would be the alternative. Essentially, it wouldn't be us being the middleman for it. We would be able to take them directly back to Felix to have this conversation.
Well, I can.
I feel like
go ask Felix what he thinks right now.
Yeah, and then you have to wait a day and come back.
Well, some things are worth it.
I say we just go for it. Like we need. I don't know. I've said my viewpoint on it. Rap appears to be somewhat with me. I just don't think we need to go ask him now.
I think we take it, but it's up to you guys. I know Nick disagrees, but well, Aurelius, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of on you, Gregor.
Yeah, we're waiting on.
I don't know. I think that it would be best if we could work something out where they work with Felix. But besides that, I don't know what we should really do.
You got to give us an answer. We can't go with this 50-50.
Fine.
From what it sounds like, you're agreeing with my viewpoint on it. I just don't think you need to leave right now to do it.
Well, I don't need to leave now, but we need to talk to Felix.
Yeah, I agree, but
about this.
Maybe once we have more info. Once we have more info, we don't even know if that's an option right now. So I think we should just go with it, find out more info on the Worldhammer, and when we actually have an actual lead, we can go from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need information, which I was saying that we should deal with the guys.
Yes.
Like we should work with them and go to Stenwood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We should take her with, since we're going to be working with her as a sign of goodwill, and then go from there.
I think if we don't take her, I think they will send someone. So it would be best to have someone we know following us as opposed to someone we don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we know her, but yes, I agree. I think we should just...
It's better to have a known threat than an unknown
I think we should just take her with and go from there. So...
I agree.
Okay. So that's what we'll do. It's less trickery and backstabbery and...
Yeah, but that doesn't always mean you're going to get like a positive result just because you're a good person.
You're 100% correct, and I don't mean it as a good person. It's a me thing.
Yeah, I just hope you don't get others killed for it. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not me. This was a group choice. I acknowledge your standpoint, but I respectfully disagree with it. So I will go knock on the door since we made a decision.
Okay. Upon knocking 3 times, A few seconds goes by, and you hear footsteps coming back to the room. Opening the door, Ashira steps in, closes the door behind her, and is kind of looking intently upon the party.
Okay. I will inform her of our decision. We'll agree to have her tag along, and we'll kind of hit our whatever leads we have. The way I thought we would go around about this is, since we had already we know that Magnus and his buddy are meeting in I keep forgetting the name of it. Kaldar? Yeah.
Kaldar.
Since that's close, we can just hoof it to Kaldar, find out what info we can there, and if we don't find anything, or it turns out okay and we're fine, like we get whatever info we can from there, then make our way to Stenwolf, or use the teleport to Stenwolf, and then we go back to Klein. That seems the most efficient route to get all of the info that we've got.
Yeah.
Or to acquire the info that we have available.
So you're heading to Kaldar, and then where?
We would head to Kaldar because we know a man who claimed to know somebody that may have info on the whereabouts of the Worldhammer.
You know a guy who knows a guy.
Essentially,
Whose
yeah.
brother- sister.
She cocks her head for but a moment, almost as if confused. I thought you said that you had no leads.
I wasn't wanting to throw all of our cards down at once.
Understandable. Go on.
Especially with not my party's consent. So yes, and it's not. I wouldn't call it a, like you said, a lead. He may have nothing. He just said he may know somebody. So we're gonna stop there and see what they have to say, and then make our way to Stenwolf, where there's apparently a man who possibly knows the whereabouts of the city of Glass, which is where we were under the impression of the Worldhammer being. But nobody that we've talked to seems to know what that is.
At all.
Seems to be like a mythological city.
Or incredibly old, as far as.
Okay. You decided if I will be accompanying you.
Yeah, no, I told her that we decided to let her come along.
Okay. So Kaldar, Stenwolf, and anything else?
Well, those are the only two for now that can lead us anywhere. So just those currently.
Okay. Let me speak with Leonid, and I will
Okay.
try to procure your rolls.
Okay.
Give me a moment.
Yep.
And she steps out. Several minutes later, as a matter of fact, probably at 5 to 10 minutes later, seems like quite a while, comes back, satchel in hand, moving through the door, closing it behind her. She takes out 3 scrolls and sets them on the table, and before leaving her hand, or before letting her hand off of these scrolls, he says, I just spoke with Leonid. The Deowin Initiative are having a council meeting in a few days' time. He would like for you to make it, if at all possible.
How many? You said a few days, so what, 3 days?
In Feywild time, it would probably be right around 2.5 to 3 days, yes.
Okay.
So,
Then we can make our trip to Kaldar and come back to here for that meeting if you'd like.
that all depends on how much we can accomplish in a couple days. We do have teleportation scrolls, so
It's true.
it all depends. But let's...
Well, I don't want to just sit around for a few days when we can get this info for all of us. So
This is true. And
I'd say we go on that and go from there. If we can make it to the meeting, then that's fine.
well, I am a council member for the Deowin Initiative.
Yeah,
I have to be
yeah.
there. So, in the case that we'd have to, unfortunately, split up, and she kind of looks down and seems to brush off the subject as if she doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, we'll head out and go see what happens.
Okay. Let's do this then. Follow me. As she
Okay.
takes the scrolls and heads out the door, and instead of turning right towards the much larger room, she takes a left. And following her down the steps below her feet, kind of echoing off the walls, you come to another door on your right side. And as you walk in, this room is much like the same room that you were in, kind of like a conference-esque style room.
Mm-hmm.
It's much larger, and she begins to conjure the teleportation scroll to Kaldar, and within
Oh, we're
about
just gonna teleport there. Awesome. That saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
She conjures the portal to Kaldar, to which all of you begin to move through. Malshira, as a sign of trust, she moves in first, and then you guys eventually follow.
Yeah, I'll follow after.
The portal
Let's go.
closes behind you guys, and you are now immediately taken aback by the sheer mass of the city. Kind of coming into view are these large temples, cathedrals, shrines, 2, 3-story buildings, some even 4 or 5, kind of towering above you, large clock tower off in the distance. From what you can see here, there are some buildings to your east that are slightly smaller. And from what you can peer out, you can kind of see land not... It's almost as if land stops, essentially, being on the outskirts of Kaldar. However, making your way through the city, it's much like a prime material plane city would be. However, more so Ladrin, fey creatures, and things of that sort.
More ornate, essentially.
Yeah, the architecture very elvish in nature. Just picture like a large elven city, and seeing Kaldar in its state now makes you only wonder how big Zarth is, or Arendelle, or Concord. So, moving through the portal, taken aback a couple seconds by the vastness of the city, Malshir doesn't seem to be too phased. Of course, she's lived in the Feywild for some time. She turns to you, Elowen, right next to her.
Yeah.
So, what now?
The magic shop that he told us to meet him at, his friend owned. That's a good place to start.
Well, we've got a large city, so where are we going? Where are we searching first?
What was the name?
The name was Osnam Keep. I was just curious if you guys had it in your notes where this was at, because he did say it.
Oh, did he say exactly where?
Yeah. It's fine. I'll just tell you guys, because he told you, so I'd assume you guys know. But it is in the...
Oh, no, it was in the comment... Oh, no, that's not what it was.
Close.
I forget the district name.
Yeah, it was in the residential district, right off the...
Residential. So, yeah, I was right area, just different word.
Yeah. Moving along through the city, residential district. Melshira can kind of point you guys in the right way, saving you quite a bit of time to where if you guys didn't go without her. Making your way to the residential district would probably take about a couple hours to get there, as it is on the other side of the city. However, making your way through the city, it's a lot of the same sort of structures and people. I mean, not the exact same, of course, but it's just one big floating city that it doesn't seem to be sort of an end to. However, eventually, due to the passing of time, you guys get to sort of the more calmer residential districts. These houses are normal kind of one-story houses, some maybe 2, 3 even for the the richest of Eladrin. However, getting there, there's various shops and various different routes you can go throughout the residential district. As a lot of people do live here. A lot of them fairly, upper class, but sort of the lower middle class could find a residential housing district that they could afford here. Coming to more so of the general goods and the magic shops and the armorers and the blacksmiths and such, all kind of really selling already made items. You'd be hard pressed to find a blacksmith or an alchemist that would actually make their own items, as they probably import them from Zarth or Concord or a larger city, or perhaps maybe they're farmed elsewhere on at sea level, essentially. Searching for probably about, 20-25 minutes, as there's not a lot in this particular area. You do come across a hole in the wall, kind of, it's almost like a strip mall, in this magic shop adorned with the name Osnum Keep slowly comes into distance in between the people moving back and forth. The words clearly read Osnum Keep, with a lone mahogany wood door sits there. Not a lot of traffic in and out, but it does stand there off in the distance.
Okay. I'll make my way in, since I had decent conversation with Magnus while he was around.
Okay. Cody, you still alive?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm coming too.
Are you good? I'm just making sure everybody's like...
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I have to leave soon here, though.
Okay. So peering into Osnum Keep as the city sounds kind of almost kind of fade away in the distance, peering in, you guys make your way into the magic shop. And it's fairly large. It looks much larger on the inside than it does on the outside. And you can see kind of glass casings, various things on the wall. It seem to be very minor magical items, not necessarily anything super expensive, but just sort of like mundane magic, maybe make life a little bit easier. Peering around, you see an elven individual helping a young human lady, kind of searching through this sort of this book of various items. You can kind of see him mouthing some words to her. However, you're can't really make it out. Other people are talking around you, and eventually, kind of making your way up to him, up to the counter, as to inquire about something. He quickly finishes up with the lady and her questions, puts the book away, gestures her over to a corner of the room, to which she kind of strides along, and his attention comes to you.
He gave us the name of the guy, right? I can't find it in my notes anywhere.
Yes, his name is
Osmond.
Duramir Kekarov.
That's right, Duramir. Yep. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that was one of the two
that were on that mission, essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
His name's Duramir Kekarov. He's got sort of bleach white hair. It looks probably like around probably his mid 30s, but for an elf, he's showing some age.
Yeah.
Kind of like a dark leather tunic, very just commoner clothes. Nothing really too fancy. Could perhaps probably have some wealth to him, but doesn't quite show it. And as you kind of come up to him, he kind of looks at you guys up and down, very peculiarly, and he says, "Well, you're different. I haven't seen prime material planers in quite some time. How may I assist you?"
Everybody seems to be able to pick us out.
Very much so.
Is it the clothes?
We're associates of Magnus. Magnus. I'm bad with last names. Hold on. Are you Duramir?
I am.
Yes, he says.
Magnus. I don't know a Magnus.
Hang on.
Hughes.
No, I have his name written down. I just need to find his last name. Oh, he probably knows him by his actual, and I didn't write that down. Rap, do you remember his actual name?
We are acquaintances with Zephyr.
Zephyr.
Yep, I do. Okay, it's right there.
The elven man, once leaning on his elbow, stands up. Zephyr, I believe.
Zephyr, yes.
Zephyr Raould.
Yes. He told
And
us
We met him
come see you.
in our travels here.
Or
Travels
he told
here.
us he was coming to see you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Zephyr and I have not spoken for quite some time. And now you come here and tell me this, that he's coming and he's in the Feywild? Why?
You know, he probably actually didn't get here yet, guys. We didn't really
I don't
take
know.
that into account, did
Depends.
we?
I don't know.
Okay, so, can we talk
I'll let
somewhere
you
more
take it,
private?
I have a shop to run. Let me go see what my co-worker is doing, and perhaps we can have a word. I am intrigued by this notion that Zephyr is here in the Feywild, and you are acquaintances of him. He doesn't like other people very much. Give me a moment, please. As he kind of he heads back into the back, and he comes out with another this time Eladrin individual, looks similar to him, and Duramir kind of walks around the countertop, walking past you, Elwyn and Aurelius, and is kind of gesturing with his fingers. And as you guys begin to walk on the other side of the magic shop, you guys go out through an additional exit out to the side. This sort of just outside the magic shop is sort of kind of off the trail of where normal people would walk, in between, behind the magic shop, kind of away from everybody else, as the rest of the magic shop is kind of, like I said, it's like a strip mall. You guys come out the back and you're basically away from everything right now. It's still kind of loud over the voices and the people around it on the other side of the magic shop. However, you are somewhat in a closed environment with this individual.
Okay.
So, it appears that you were all excommunicated at the same time.
You are all, as in me and Zephyr? That would be correct.
Apparently someone else as well. You mentioned another person.
Another person
Another Talon.
who worked with the operation?
Apparently, I don't quite remember. But it appears that. How much do you think I should say?
I already think you kind of started the conversation off in a weird way, but
Well, first of all, do you say that to Aurelius's character?
Yeah.
Okay, just so we're on the same page. He kind of looks at you
I
very
said that.
peculiarly.
I was like, I mean, I thought we were gonna kind of ease into this instead of
We don't
being
really
so
have a
direct.
choice, since he didn't get here.
Well, come on now, spit it out. I'm very curious.
Zephyr told us that he was on his way.
Yeah.
We may have gotten here before he has.
By the looks of
may
it,
be
yes.
best for us to
He
wait
said
for him to
he-
arrive.
He wanted to speak with you, or
About?
he had some things to talk about with you.
And
Involving
he told us to meet
your
him here.
guys's. He didn't tell us to meet him here. I want to get that straight. He legit just told talk to this guy. He had no idea we were ever gonna meet again. Am I correct in that, Ryan? Like, he didn't tell us to meet him here. He just said, like, if we were going to, he was going to talk to this guy.
He said he was going to go speak with Deowin Kakarov and Kaldar. He did not
remember
mention
him.
anything to where,
Yeah.
like, let's meet up here. No.
Yeah. He just mentioned where it was.
He did say that if you guys needed information that you guys could go here and just mention that Zypher Raoul had sent him.
Yeah.
But there was no mention of any sort of meeting up or anything.
Yeah. So, anyway, yes, Zypher said that he was going to come talk to you, but by the looks of it, we got here first. He told us we could get with you about information on the Worldhammer.
That old thing. So long ago. What is it now, 60 years? Why are you trying to find the Worldhammer, especially here in the Feywild?
We have reason to believe it may be here.
And why does Zypher want it? That operation failed long ago.
Well, no, he didn't.
Zypher doesn't want it.
He wanted to tell you about it.
Not much I could do. There was a time where I worked with several others to capture the item, but it was lost. It failed. I don't know why he would come and see me about it. Of course, I've been curious about it all these years, but I run a magic shop now. And my life is... It's okay now.
We're not asking you to get involved, if that's what you're thinking. We
were
just want
coming
information.
Here to meet him. And
No,
we came upon a way of getting here very fast.
We were just coming here for information. That's all. I'm not asking you to get involved. I'm not asking you to relive or redo whatever you guys went through. I just want information. What I guess, okay. So what can you tell me about how, like, what happened with the operation? When, like, how did that go down?
Well, we were told that in Grindar, Jericho, he had the artifact, and I wasn't quite sure why the Talons wanted the object. Of course, they were all hungry for power, but I mean, a lot of people were at that time. So we knew that it was in transit. We knew that it was going somewhere in Jericho. But most of all, we knew that it was leaving, or that it would be accompanied by dwarves under King Grindar.
And this is back in the prime material plane, correct?
Yes, this was in Jericho.
It's my homeland.
This
Okay,
was,
I'm just making sure.
took us so long to get over there, but by the time we got there, we were ill prepared. We ambushed them. We tried to capture, but we were overwhelmed. A few of us died, and as far as I know, Zypher went in. He just left. He just disappeared. He left.
So he actually left because of the failure.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, actually. A lot of us tried to do the same, but weren't quite as lucky. Seems like he was exiled here after some time, but a lot of us were exiled immediately. Zypher. Why would he want to tell me? Perhaps there's something he knows. Perhaps there's something more to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He could know more info that he didn't tell us, but...
Do you know if he's working with the Talons currently, or is in contact with them?
He didn't
No,
make it seem like it.
he definitely did not sound like they were on
Yeah.
good terms.
Interesting.
And he got thrown in here just like you did.
This is the first that I'm hearing that the Worldhammer is in the Feywild. We made a valiant effort to capture it from King Grindar, but happen to know how it ended up here?
All we know.
No, we just know that it might be tied with all of the things going on in the south.
Yeah.
Here in the city, we I guess I should say word does not spread around very quickly. A lot of the news and rumors and tends to stay out of the floating cities as best as possible.
Basically, seems like cities are revolting against their leaders.
Oh, well, I've heard. I've definitely heard, but way up here, it's easy to forget about the problems down there.
Does it have something to do with the hammer? Do you know? Is this part of its abilities? Because we don't know what it actually does.
We were given a small brief before we set out about the capabilities of such an object, but in all possibilities, yes. This is absolutely the work of an object that can control this vast amount of people and have them all kind of doing the same thing.
So it's like a mind control device.
I would use the word enslaving.
That's not great.
No, it is not. I can't say for sure what the king did with it, or where he was transporting it to, or... All I know is what you guys have told me, and before I got exiled. Now, what Zypher wants to tell me, or what he needs to tell me, I'm assuming it will make much more sense then. However, I have not seen him in some time, and for all I know, I don't know how you guys could be lying.
Explaining it than us.
There's
That's
no
a
way
fair
you
point.
guys could be lying. I don't know. I just can't make sense of it right now.
Well, he
Well-
saved us in a forest from being attacked by wolves, so...
Would you? Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Malshira pipes up. She says, seems like you guys have kind of tied to this Duramir. I'll let you guys talk in private. You guys seem to have a history with him and this Magnus individual. I'll be right inside.
Okay.
And she goes back.
I'm gonna. As soon as she leaves, I'm gonna signal Cody to follow her.
Okay.
Or kind of go out with her just to kind of make sure she's not, doing sketchy stuff since we
Sneaky,
don't really know her.
beaky shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sneaky
that's
beaky
fine.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just goes back in the magic shop and kind of
browses.
browses, kind of starts up a small conversation with you, Elwyn, about various, trying to inquire more about the journey,
Go
essentially.
shopping.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What I was gonna ask, since it doesn't seem like we're getting anything. This guy's clearly been out of the loop, and maybe Zypher is going to come ask him about other things. If he could have Zypher meet us in the city of, or the town of Kine.
What's in Kine?
It's just somewhere we're staying. It'd be an easy place for us to get a hold of him, for him to find us. If he could meet us there in a few days, whenever he shows up here, just tell him we would like to speak with him, if that's possible.
In
He might be
Kine.
a minute.
Kine. Is there a place where you're staying, like a name of a place, or he's
Yeah,
going to ask these questions?
Yes. Sorry. The inn that we're staying in is the Dragon Eye Inn.
Dragon Eye Inn. Okay.
If he could, just meet us there so we could at least have a conversation with him.
I go up to Aurelius. Should we tell him about the drink?
That wasn't the plan. I was just gonna meet him at the inn.
Oh, okay. Well,
Did Zypher inquire about anyone else who might have been exiled to the Feywild as well that were included with that operation? Did anybody else make it?
He did mention the other man, but if I'm being honest, I don't remember his name. In other words, Nick didn't write it down.
and I don't think he actually told us.
Mikhail, Leonid, Ishmael? Any of them?
Leonid. That name sounds familiar.
What did you say his last name was?
Oh, well, you have Mikhail Alfred, Leonid Whitesunder, and various others who were also included with that operation.
How
look at
was
Aurelius.
Leonid included?
Sorry, you guys were talking at the same time. What?
I said, how was Leonid a part of the operation?
He was the leader.
That name sounds familiar.
He was the leader of that operation. If he's here in the Feywild, he probably knows a great deal more than I do.
Okay.
Wait, does this guy know what the town?
Okay. That's the only. That might have been the person. I'm not sure. He mentioned one other person, but I don't remember the name. It could have been.
Chances are they're probably scattered throughout the Feywild.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Well, drag an eye in kind. I shall pass word.
All right, I appreciate it.
Is there anything I can help you with? Not regarding this inquiry.
I might take a look around your shop a little bit.
Yeah,
Please do.
the
Please do.
shop seems quite interesting.
Any other questions you'd like to ask, or would you just like to continue on back into the magic shop?
I just continue back into the magic shop. I would, at least, because I seem to have gotten everything that I could. Not much, but is what it is.
Okay.
Is it what it is?
Okay. Aurelius, as you kind of make your way into back into the magic shop, that name, Leonid Whitesunder, begins spinning around your head, and you do remember Magnus Razi specifically way back when in the wagon ride mentioning two names: Duramir Kakarov and Leonid Whitesunder.
It was Leonid. Okay.
You didn't really put two and two together at the time, but now it is vastly apparent.
It's
Yeah.
obviously the same guy.
The one guy you did not write down. That could have changed
Yeah,
various
seriously, the
interactions.
one guy. Yeah, exactly.
The most important guy, basically.
Coming back in, he gestures you guys to follow him back into the main part of the magic shop. Says to you, take a look around. Have anything that you're interested in? Let me know. And
Yeah, like what kind of stuff does he have? Is it like weapons and stuff? or-
no, like rings, rods, magical like necklaces, stuff like that. Very minor magical items, like kind of like Cody's like ring of tracking, I think it was called.
Yeah.
It's like shit we could actually afford.
Yeah, for the most part, affordable magic items, mundane shit to like I told Nick to that makes
Just
life
little
easier.
trinkets and yeah.
Is there anything like knowledge related?
Make a. I won't say. I say you guys could probably inquire to.
Ask.
Yeah, Duramir. There are several rings that could boost your I guess I don't want to say knowledge because that's kind of like general, but like enhance your abilities to critically think. In other words, enhance your abilities to for problem solving, and essentially, if you were going to make some sort of like knowledge check, then it would give you like a bonus. Nothing too crazy. Very minor magical items, so like maybe like a +1 to something, something specific, things like that.
Oh,
Would they have
only
like a
one
+1
knowledge check?
to like a bonus to strength or anything like that, or is that?
Oh yeah,
Not
yeah.
much.
They can have something like that, but it wouldn't necessarily be so much as a ring, more so like a belt.
Yeah. I would be very interested in that.
Okay.
Or maybe would deck or let me see. Would that be better to have a dex with my 2 weapon? Nah, 2 weapon would still be my strength would be boosted with it. So
Boosted.
yeah. If I could find something like that, that'd be awesome.
Let me just try to find something if
Like belt of giant strength. I don't know. This is 3.5, so it might be.
I think he's just making
Yeah.
items up.
Oh, gotcha.
So there is a belt of giant strength that it gives you +4 to strength. However, that's 16,000 gold pieces.
Oh yeah.
So I say a
couple.
+1. Probably get a good deal from Durmir. Probably right around like 3,500.
Okay, something to think about.
Yeah, these are very minor
yeah.
magical items, but magical items like are pretty expensive.
It's still
like
pricey, yeah.
How much is this? These knowledge boosting?
So +1 to like a specific type of knowledge would probably be right around 1,500 to 2,000, depending on the skill.
Nope. We all poor as fuck.
Getting a
still
good deal
knowing
from
that we can find this kind of stuff,
from Duramir would probably be like around 800 to 1,200.
Still can't fucking afford it.
I'm just letting you know, if you want like an intelligence boost, like an actual like +1 or +2, those would range upwards of more so than the giant strength. It would probably be significantly more. Like a +4 for giant strength
I have
is
400 gold.
Yeah, like a +4 in intelligence versus strength. I mean, for +4 in strength, you're talking about 16,000. For a +4 in intelligence, you're talking about like a 20,000, if not more. Because that, while strength is an attribute for barbarians and such that would greatly help them out, a knowledge, like a straight intelligence boost for, say, a wizard would be so much more significant. But yeah. It's definitely something to keep in mind if you procure a good amount of gold, a good amount of wealth. You come back and kind of browse, especially because Duramir might give you a pretty good deal as you've kind of hit a nerve with him in the sense of Cypher in his past. But anything else? Sorry, go ahead, Cody.
Shouldn't we ask him about the original intent of like the talents? For wanting
power, honestly, is basically what it seemed like.
Yeah, as he kind of explained to Aurelius, is that it wasn't so much as like it was almost like a need to know basis. However, it was essentially for power. Whether the Talons were going to use it for malintent, you're not quite sure. They just wanted it to say that they had it, and it would give them power. So.
Mm-hmm.
But,
all right. Well, I don't think I need anything from the shop.
Okay. Yeah, at that point, I would kind of give him, or say goodbye to him, go on our way.
Okay. As you say goodbye to Duramir Kekarov, keeping in mind Ozanam, keep in the back of your minds, perhaps maybe the next time you visit Kaldar, Malshira and Elowin, as you guys kind of join back together in the magic shop and are leaving. I'm assuming, Elowin, you inquire as to what was said. Malshira, for sure, she asks, so, did he spill the beans? What'd he say?
He didn't really have much info for us at all. His knowledge of where the item was dated back 60 plus years.
He's been out of the loop for quite a while.
That being said, your boss worked with him.
How so?
They were part of the same group.
Operation to acquire the hammer.
Not necessarily just like they worked for the same people.
Yeah, that's impossible. Leonid's been in the Feywild for much longer than 60 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that they weren't.
We mentioned him by name without us having mentioned it first.
We didn't say any names. That was something that he brought up. So
he said he was the leader
your
of
boss
the operation, as a matter of fact.
And now the time does work a little different, so
Deowin was born in Stanrock. He has no ties to the Talons of St. Lawrence.
Well, apparently he does.
I don't know how else he would have mentioned them. Like I said, we said nothing. He mentioned him by name directly.
In relation to the Talons.
Okay, alright. You say so.
Just something to think about.
Do you think we should return to Klein?
I think we should go on to Stenwolf or whatever that place you guys wanted to go and find out if there's additional information there.
I agree. That makes the most sense at the moment. That being said, I did have Dearmere he's going to relay a message to Magnus to meet us in Kine to see if we can get some more info from him.
Sounds good. If you trust this individual, then perhaps the Deowin initiative could use him for good.
Who would have guessed?
So,
Not us, because we forgot his name.
Stenwolf.
Yep, I agree. That seems the next logical step at this point. That's our only other lead.
Well, not sure how much we're gonna find there. Largely deserted, so we've heard, and destroyed, I would presume. But let's
They say it's our only other lead. We've got no other choice.
Okay. As you guys kind of make your way almost gloomily to another part of the city, kind of off the beaten path, she begins to conjure one more portal, much of the same way. And this time, stepping through this portal, the last foot to go through, immediately, and you guys are met with a village that...
You could say, it's hammer time.
Okay. This village, however, is pretty alien, in the sense that as you step through, you're not necessarily stepping on the outskirts of this village. You have stepped into the village. The streets, kind of almost the wind passing through is kind of kicked up dust. The skies are not so much as a sunset anymore, but more so like a gray. Various houses and buildings on fire. The occasional beggar that you can see. Not a whole lot of people, and if there is, they're dead silent. A couple bodies to the north end of the village you can see down at the street. Just kind of black blobs laying in the street. Could be trash, it could be a body, but you would like to think that it's not.
Yeah.
However, the sheer nature of what's going on, it's kind of hard not to assume. This sort of abandoned village of Stenwolf that you're currently standing in is basically the remnants of what was a pretty bustling village, with your normal blacksmiths, your normal alchemists and wizards and adventurers like yourselves. However, has been reduced to nothing more than what's left of a memory of a village. And peering up over in sort of the mountain range-ish south of Stenwolf, you see a building, it's almost kind of like a church-like structure, but this large, I don't really know how else to describe it, but a castle, like a small castle almost, that sits on the side of the mountain range, probably about an hour or two away, at max.
I'm gonna guess called Castle Stenwolf.
No, It's not necessarily like a castle, but it's kind of like a castle-like structure. However, what you can see on the outside, in the vast distance, seem to be, you can't see figures, but you can see sort of intact structure, intact. I want to say boxes, what look like boxes, I guess, far off in the distance, and any sort of remnants, sane remnants of Stenwolf would have gone down this path that's leading to this castle-like structure at the base of the mountain.
Okay. And we weren't like, we were just told he was in Stenwolf, right? I didn't think we got any other info aside from just Stenwolf.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Shout out to the cat.
My guess is to, I mean, the only thing to do is ask around anybody that, you said they were beggars, right?
Yeah, you do see one beggar kind of at the northern end of the village, kind of just like laying there. He seems to be alive, however, weak and frail,
Yeah, not good looking.
and almost practically naked. He's just kind of sitting there staring off in the distance,
Alrighty.
not moving whatsoever.
Yeah.
But his eyes are open.
Interesting. I guess I'll ask him. It didn't hurt.
I'd
Do
be
you-
careful.
What's he gonna do? It'll be fine.
We're dealing with the device that can enslave people's mind. Be careful.
I'm gonna kind of kneel down. Excuse me, sir.
He is sitting on his butt with his knees up, his hands on his knees,
Mm-hmm.
staring off directly in front of him. And as you come over to kind of grab his attention, he does not blink. He is stone-faced, looking forward, mind broken, not seeming to answer to any calls or to any sort of
Just unresponsive.
unresponsive. Yeah, there's like a word I was looking for, but yeah, essentially stimuli. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get any answers. Just asking. Our best bet seems to be to go. What is it, like a castle?
It's like a small castle, but it looked like a shelter, like the last standing structure that really can't really be destroyed. I mean, it's a huge stone.
Yeah.
You know.
That seems like our best bet. Maybe go there, see if we can get any answers.
There's a beaten path that's kind of like
Fine.
grass dead, that's kind of been freshly made, from what you can assume.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and follow that. That seems. I say we're kind of just following blindly at this point, so. In the dark.
Yeah.
Passing over, coming to the southern end of the village, passing through a couple other people. One person in particular you see is moving, walking along the street, paying no attention to you. He is clutching his chest and very weak, very frail, almost as if moving frigidly down the road. As you guys just kind of pass by, he pays no attention to you. And coming off the path onto a more freshly made path up to the mountain. Like I said, it's probably about an hour and a half walk.
Mm-hmm.
And with the passage of time, you guys are shortly met with stone steps that kind of lead up. Not exactly to the structure, but you just kind of like rising in elevation because you are about to get on basically a mountain range, essentially, I guess.
Yeah.
Around
Can you listen to a
45.
different song, DM?
Yeah, I got you.
I can't handle this.
Okay. Here we go. So, about 45 minutes later, after the weight bearing on Malshira, her plate mail is kind of tiring her, and you guys are carrying your things, all but seeming to, like, the path just keeps going on and on. Air growing colder. Various frost kind of accumulating on the blades of grass to where the grass turns to mostly stone. And while there is no, like, set snow on the ground, however, the air is getting colder to where if you were to go much higher up, you would find the snow-covered tops of the mountains. Coming to the base of the church-like castle structure, it's much larger than you had seen down below. Mostly black. However, the gates, which give you entrance to basically the structure, have been vastly secured, it seems, with some sort of mechanism or device. Various boxes, crates on the outside, and from what you can see, flickers of candlelight in the windows going up one of the structures. Coming up to the front of the gate is dead silence.
It didn't budge if I try and open it?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy gate.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha. What the hell?
I don't
ideas?
really.
What's up, Gregor?
I don't really have a way to get this open.
As you guys all kind of line up like side by side, essentially trying to push the gate, kind of like touch it and kind of like maneuvering about it, and essentially trying to solve exactly what's going on here. A voice calls out from behind the gate, and as you look, you can see at the top right of where the gate stands, an old human male stands there, bellowing down towards you. You there? Get out of here for your own good before we shoot you.
We're friendly. We just have some questions.
Ain't no more friends around here.
Do you want me to lay down my weapons? We need answers.
The male, old and frail, peers down to you, squints his eyes. He peers back over his shoulder. Who are you with? Just the 5 of you?
We're not with anybody. It's just us. No tricks here.
And why do you venture to Stenwolf?
We're looking for a Maester Nim.
What would you want with Maester Nim?
Like I said, we have questions for him. We mean no harm.
The old man disappears behind the gate. And several moments later, you hear a ksh, and the gate not fully opening, but just about to where
Like
you guys could
loosening,
fit.
essentially.
Yeah, just so happens to open only to where you guys could fit in. And upon entering, the gates close behind you immediately.
Okay.
You're met with several other older individuals. Some it's mostly human, sort of like fey human, so much more kind of frail and skinnier than a normal prime material playing human, and then some elves who by your standards are fairly old. I mean, they're showing their age,
Yeah,
for
which is
sure.
saying something.
which is definitely saying something. They all kind of come around and keeping their distance in the sort of courtyard area. Freshly frost kind of covers the stone ground, and begins to slightly fall around you as you're met face to face with this human individual about a foot shorter than you, Aurelius. He looks up at you and then at the rest of the party. Leave your weapons at the gate. If you choose to speak with Maester Nim, he hasn't had any visitors in quite some time.
Okay, I'll. If it's your request, I'll unstrap all of my weapons.
He kind of looks around at the other human individuals and elven individuals, and they're all kind of looking around and nodding their heads, seemingly in a trusting manner. Although looks like they have not, heard of or been shown the word trust in quite some time.
Yeah.
They're very on edge.
Very wary.
Laying down your arms. They don't care so much about like armor. However, any sort of weapons, be left at the gate. The older gentleman nods at you guys as you guys finally lay down your last set of weapons, and turns around and begins walking towards the entrance to the actual castle-like structure. And as you guys follow in behind him, you come to this very large room with several corridors kind of going off. This sort of torch-lit interior adorned with red rugs, red carpets, all very ornately placed, and it's all very symmetrical. The layout of this room is very well thought out, and obviously whoever made the structure was a grand architect. As you follow him throughout the various rooms of the structure, he begins to speak. We built this structure long ago, in case anything were to happen. And I guess someone knew at some time that it would come to this in some way. A lot of the maesters and people who managed to get out of town live here now, and I could tell that you weren't one of them. So pardon me for being on edge.
That makes sense. You weren't. Things definitely did not go very well here, so I understand.
I hope Maester Nim can answer your questions, and you can get out of our hair just as like we get out of yours.
That would be great.
Following him to a spiral staircase, you guys go up a few floors until he steps off and goes down another short corridor until he gets to a door. And just before he opens it, this is the library. Maester Nim spends a lot of his time in here. Like I said, he hasn't had a visitor in quite some time, so ease him into it.
I nod.
And he opens the door in this sort of library structure, only lit by the various candles on the end tables. It's not like super huge. It's probably about like 20 foot by 15 foot. However, the walls are just covered in books so high that there's like a ladder that's kind of propped up that allows for quicker movement. But all by his lonesome in the corner of the room at an end table, sifting through a history book on the Feywild in the last 500 years, sits an old, frail. He looks human, but he also kind of looks Eladrin in a way, sort of a Fey elf. for sure showing his age with his crow's feet and wrinkly skin, sits there in dark brown rags. He immediately looks up with his glasses, kind of oddly shaped spectacles. He looks up and peers at all 5 of you, and of course the older gentleman that is with you, and they lock eyes for but a moment until Maester Nim looks back down at his book, and the older gentleman kind of peers back at you, Aurelius, as if to kind of like an understanding of you know, this whole situation, and takes his leave out of the library.
Okay. I look at the man at the table. Are you Maester Nim?
He peers up and closes his book, removes his spectacles, and turns to you. Colrin Nim has been my name for quite some time. I've been a maester for 40-something years. Been had a visitor in quite some time. Care to elaborate on what you're here about?
We were told to come speak to you. We had questions about the City of Glass. We were told you're the only person that we've been told has any information on it. Everybody else thinks we're crazy for talking about it.
The City of Glass. That is a name I've not heard in quite some time. Very peculiar place. But, why would you ever want to travel to the City of Glass?
We're looking for an ancient item that's said to be there.
He stands up with his closed book and puts it back where he found it, in a corner of the room.
Mm-hmm.
The City of Glass. It's an underground city located in the Feydark. It's the only way to get to it is a ziggurat in the Illingburn Forest, just outside the mountain range on the other side of Cliffshire. Now, the ziggurat is particularly hidden. However, it's should only probably be a few days' walk from Cliffshire over the mountain. But again, what artifact could possibly be worth traveling all the way there to find?
We're being paid a decent amount for it. It's the money.
It's always about the money. Well, you're traveling all the way to the City of Glass. There's, I guess, only one thing that is worth ever traveling there for. And I'm assuming you know that which I speak of.
What do you mean?
The Worldhammer. There's nothing else in the City of Glass besides that.
A lot of people seem to know it for being an ancient artifact.
Yeah. And that's the only thing they cling on to. It's held by Dark Eladrin. Not for any evil purposes, but to keep it safe from outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. It was stolen.
Do you know by who?
He goes over and looks among the bookshelves and finds a particular book. Not super thick, but not very thin either. Takes it down, scrapes off the dust from it, and hands it to you. This is a book on the Feydark and the various iconic places within, inside of it.
Yeah.
Below the Feywild. And he says,
Do I have any clue about the Feydark?
not really. Not a whole lot is known about the Feydark. But going back to what you had brought up, Aurelius, he says, to my knowledge, a description was sent out. Let me go back in my notes. And as he goes over to his small table, he begins sifting through the various sort of recent notes that he had been taking, various news sources. He says, yes. He was a male. Bald. Facial hair. And blue eyes. Probably like around 6'2", 6'3". They're not really sure how he managed to get his hands on the Worldhammer, or how he found it, or how he got in through the various security, but that's the description that went out, and I'm afraid there's been no leads to find him yet. It's like he disappeared.
Is he a human?
Yes, he is human.
Is Monkey zero?
But yes, right here, bald male, 6'2", roughly 250-300 pounds, was last seen in the confines of the Worldhammer, where the Dark Eladrin keep it. This individual, adorned in black robes, scar among his right eye, from his forehead down to his cheek. That is, from my sources, not everybody has access to. So I share this information with you in the hopes that perhaps you can find whoever did this.
That description doesn't seem like anybody we know, right? I don't remember anybody like that being described to us before.
No. Not to Elwyn, not to Gregor, not to you, Aurelius,
Yeah.
not to Gildroy, not to Aurelia, and Malshira is kind of like walking amongst the room looking at the books, and see if she can find anything that
Yeah.
seeming as if like not really paying attention, but she's finding books about the Feydark in the City of Glass, and
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's anything else, or anything anybody else, or if anybody else is paying attention.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So he's a big, bald man with a scar going down pretty much the entire length of his face, correct, over his right eye.
Yep, and
Yep.
facial hair.
Yeah, facial hair. Okay. Okay. I guess going to the City of Glass isn't gonna do anything then. If it's been stolen, it's not there. Where did
You
I
could
look
perhaps
over to-
inquire to the Dark Eladrin about any other information you could gather. However,
That's true.
it's not there according to the Dark Eladrin.
I'm gonna look over to Malshira. Your boss, he mentioned that they knew where that they were headed, correct?
She kind of looking down at her book, looks up, looks at you. Oh, I'm sorry. What? I was reading about the Worldhammer itself, the city of glass, the Feydark. It's all throughout the Feywild, underground. I'm sorry. What did you ask?
Your boss, he had mentioned that. Didn't he say something about where that I guess army or the whatever the coup was headed?
They were.
Maybe I'm crazy. I thought
They were marching through the Ellingvern forest to Eben, what we presume.
Okay. Maybe we can cut them off. I don't know, or get there beforehand.
Hopefully.
It's either that or like those are our next two leads at this point. Go there or go head to the Feywilds through that ziggurat. Or not the Feywilds, the
Feydark.
City of Glass. Anybody else?
Feydark.
It's totally up to you guys.
Am I the only one still here, Cody?
I don't know if I'll be able to stop them.
Stop what, Gregor?
The horde.
Yeah, it's 3 villages worth.
It's true.
But the more knowledge we have, the more power.
Alright, I'm back. I had to go get food.
I
said
didn't
like
realize
I
you
was-
left.
I think we should go to the Feydark.
Yeah, at that point, if that's what you think, our best bet is to go to the ziggurat, see if we can get more info on how it got stolen and any ways to stop it. But
Yeah,
That's,
I left a while ago, shortly after I told Ryan, I said, hey, I gotta, leave soon, if he asked if I was all good.
Malshira kind of speaks up. I don't have a scroll to wherever this place is. I've never been. And that council meeting in kind.
Yes, we can go there first, and then we can. We're not going to be able to teleport there, of course. We're just going to have to make our way there, but we can make sure that you don't miss your meeting.
She procures a couple books off the shelf and begins flipping through those as well, until eventually she kind of exhausts her reading, I guess, and puts the books back.
I was gonna say, wouldn't Gregor be going crazy right now with all these books around?
Gregor is tired. Gregor
Figure
sleeps
something like
longer.
Is Gregor tired or Rap tired?
Gregor is wrapped, so Gregor is tired.
It's all good. I plan on wrapping up here soon anyway, but I'd like to get to at least a council meeting.
Yeah, I'd say that's our next bet is to go back to Kine for the council meeting. Maybe the other people will have more info to give there.
Did you find out a decent bit, or?
I mean, we know how to get to the City of Glass now to some extent.
Yeah, but the hammer isn't there.
Yeah,
Rip.
the Hammer's currently with that mob of fucking people that's just going village to village and, raping.
Oh yeah. Going village to village and
Just
raping.
fucking building an army, essentially.
Oh man.
Building an army of plebs. So yeah, I might. We can go back to Kine, chill around, or just kind of sit around until the meeting,
Yeah.
and then make our way from there to either go to the City of Glass or Eben. You said it was.
Yeah, that's where they were heading to. Was
It's
there
not
anything
cool.
else that you'd like to ask him regarding anything?
We were mostly here for find out how to get to the City of Glass. I guess, does he have any information on the Worldhammer itself? Like anything we can do to stop it? Well, I guess if they knew how to stop it, this wouldn't be a problem.
Those who are in possession of the Worldhammer possess a great deal of power over not necessarily huge groups of people at one time, but have the power to manipulate small amounts of people over time.
Yeah.
So this has taken a long time.
It could, but in the wrong hands, unsupervised, could lead to massive enslavement. To undo any sort of wrongdoing, such as what's going on right now in the Feywild, would have to have some sort of divine interference.
So even if we get the Worldhammer, these people may still be under control.
I'm gonna have to work on stuff.
Okay. Interesting. So essentially the only thing that's going to truly fix this is divine intervention. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Anybody else have any questions for him? I don't know, like I said, I asked all the other questions.
Not really.
Well, you know where he is now in case anything does come up. What's on the current agenda? Take your leave, head back to Kine, wait out
That
the
seems-
council meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Venturing out outside the facility, back out of the structure. Malshira conjures a portal back to Kine, and upon stepping through the portal back to Kine, what would you guys like to do? Do you guys have anything in mind that you guys would care to do, or are you essentially just because the council meeting is going to be the next day? It's going to be the next day.
Next day. Okay. No, I would just kind of relax a little bit, take in all the information that we've gathered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea to come up with a game plan.
Any sort of information you're sharing with Leonid or Malshira? Because Malshira was kind of in her own sort of like thing over in the Killing Books.
I informed her that apparently her boss was in on the operation to deal with or to get the Worldhammer in the first place. She didn't seem to believe me, so.
Okay. Heading back to the headquarters, the Temple of Shar, dipping through. You guys wait out probably the next day, relaxing, mulling all over the information in your head, taking the time to kind of try to put the pieces together on what you guys are going to do next. Head to the City of Glass, meet with Magnus and Kine, which you still have had no word yet on his appearance.
Yeah.
the next day rolls around. You guys are refreshed, and coming to, you guys were allowed to sleep at the Temple of Shar in a small quarters, each of you kind of having your own stateroom. In the afternoon, the traffic amongst the Temple of Shar is kind of picking up as they're preparing for this meeting. And as you guys kind of make your way out to the large room, you see Leonid at the elevated platform of the room behind the large half-circle table. You notice several other inhabitants of the temple standing kind of where you guys are, in the back and on the ground, overlooking, waiting for the council meeting to start. And several minutes goes by, the chatter among the individuals in the room, and Leonid speaks up, his voice echoing off the walls. He has a large gavel, which he begins to slam on the wooden desk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to talk about our next move. Council members, please take your seats. The first individual, male Eladrin, dark blonde hair, about 6.5 feet tall, steps through, adorned in various colorful green robes. Looks to be some sort of wizard or sorcerer. Steps through gracefully, almost as if hovering. But he's gracefully kind of making his way to the far left seat of the table. Next is Melshira, her black plate armor, fiery red tips of her hair, battle axe at her side, making her way in between Leonid and the blonde Eladrin individual. And of course we have Leonid right there in the middle. The next person that comes through is also an Eladrin, kind of on the shorter side, more sort of stocky barbarian, with brown hair kind of braided up into a ponytail. And then the next person to come through, burly individual, human, sort of kind of like in this dark tunic, bald facial hair, and a scar coming down the right side of his eye. And as they all kind of take behind their seats, they'll kind of look around, and Leonid mutters, "Council is now in session. Everyone take your seats."
Do we have seats, or are we kind of like, is it the table full?
The table's basically full. And,
okay, so we'll just kind of stand off to the side then.
Yep. And that is where we will end the session tonight.
Okay.
Woohoo! Oh no! My headphones unplugged.
God, my voice is giving out already.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
like
that was long as fuck.
Yeah. That was
I came back and you guys were still going. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah. I needed like a drink of water or something.
yeah.
Fuck. Those long sessions always get me. I need to start drinking water throughout the session. But
And I think also you talk in a way that, like, I made that comment, like, everyone sounds like they're kind of trying to give their, like, last will almost. So you talk in a way that's probably taxing.
perhaps, yeah.
Bro, yeah, you go like, I don't, like, that's how, like, they're, and so it seems like after a while it just, like, the raspiness would kind of get to you.
Yeah.